These players have thrilled and entertained us with their skills, courage, and pure determination. Tonight we have one more chance to watch them as high school football players. The Stars are out tonight in Tonawanda. It's the AdPro Sports Kensington Lions Club High School Football All-Star Classic, and it's now on Time Warner Cable Sports Channel. From Clint Small Stadium at Tonawanda High School in Tonawanda, New York, Time Warner Cable Sports Channel presents the 2016 AdPro Sports Kensington Lions Club High School Football All-Star Classic. Good evening, everybody. Alongside my good friend and broadcast partner, Sean Brusso, my name is David Miller, back for another year of covering this All-Star Classic. Amy Audibert will join us shortly. And you know, Sean, the best thing about this game is, well, it's an All-Star game, but everybody is expected to play.
Yeah, everybody in this game was an all-star for their respective team. They accomplished great things in high school. A lot of them will go on to accomplish great things at the next level, but for tonight, they have one more game as a high school football player.
And if you follow high school football, like, well, you and I do, you would think that the South has the upper hand, at least on paper. Head coach of the South team is Rob Curran from Alden High School, and you're going to see one of the better players in Western New York here today getting the start for the South. And that, my friends, is Tyree Brown. He led South Park to their first ever state championship. And, well, watch for John Dolak III, too, who was the heart and soul of the West Seneca East Trojans.
What an amazing season for Tyree Brown. South Park becoming the first Buffalo Public School to win a New York State championship 6 years after they were brought into the section. And I will tell you what a fantastic player. Almost all 4,000 all-purpose yards this year. He was all-state. He was Connolly Cup winner. What a fantastic player. Buffalo News Player of the Year. Every single award you could possibly throw at this kid, he won. And yeah, John Dolak, who was his opponent twice that season, West Seneca East 8-2 last year. Their only two losses were at the hands of the South Park Sparks. Both of those coaches are involved in this game today, too. Another little twist in there. But Dolak, another fantastic player.
Talking to the North team's head coach, Greg Bronson from Lockport High School, it's all work for him. This is a real serious game. He would like to come away with a victory here today, and he's going to rely heavily on a Class D player starting at quarterback. And, of course, for the North, we're talking about Kyle Smith from Albion, but he plays like a Class A player. And then don't forget about Tyler Stranahan from Canisius, who, well, he was very entertaining during his four-year career.
Yeah, Kyle Smith out of Albion, great player. I remember watching him in the 7-on-7s, like, wow, hey, small school, but this guy can really, really play. And yeah, Stranahan from Canisius, very good stable of quarterbacks that have gone through in the last couple of years in Canisius. Stranahan adding his name to that list.
The coaches are ready, the players are ready, and yes, you and I are ready too. Stay tuned. It's the 41st annual Kensington Lions Club All-Star Classic from Tonawanda, New York. Opening kickoff coming up next on Time Warner Cable Sports Channel.
Tonawanda High School, number 78, Bailey Franusiak. From Barker Oihart High School, number 79, Chris Steves. From Lockport High School, number 85, DeAndre Jenkins. From Niagara Wheatfield, number 88, Brian High School, Tristan Bullock Watson. Now we would like to introduce the South team and their head coach from Alden High School, Rob Curran.
You couldn't ask for a better summer day here at Clinton H. Small Stadium here at Tonawanda High School in Western New York. Time Warner Cable Sports Channel presenting the 41st annual Kensington Lions Club All-Star Classic. All seniors, all have graduated. Some are moving on to play at a bigger level, and some will be playing their final game ever. Either way, you can expect them to leave it all on the field. My name is David Miller, Sean Brusso in the booth as well, and Amy Otterbird is patrolling the sidelines. It is an absolutely gorgeous day, as I mentioned, here in Western New York. A slight breeze going from left to right, warm temperatures and sunny skies. You see a kickoff temperature of 84 degrees. The wind's officially southwest at 17 miles per hour, and we expect some partly cloudy conditions, but no precipitation in the forecast as we get things started here today. This is the, I believe, 6th year that Sean and I are reunited in the press box to call this All-Star Classic. It's always good to see you, especially this time of year, my friend.
Absolutely. It's the unofficial start of the high school football season, and you know, what a beautiful night. It's a tar-belting hot tonight. Hot night down here in Tonawanda. As you take a look at the crowd here and on the north sideline, beautiful venue. It's our first time here at Tonawanda at the new Clint Small Stadium, and what a beautiful, beautiful venue it is for high school football, Dave.
You see a lot of these new field turf facilities, and they're not cheap.
No.
And all the supporters come out and enjoy these high school football games, especially when you talk about the Kensington Lions Club and the All-Star Classic.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, you have a beautiful, beautiful football-rich tradition in Tonawanda and in North Tonawanda, and you know, it's a great spot. This game was in North Tonawanda for some time there, back when Eric Jancy was the head coach, and now it's back up here in the Tonawandas, and you know, it's just a great area, a great venue, and a great night for football in this area.
I was wondering how long it would take you to reference Coach Jancy. It didn't take very long at all. Take a look at the officials. Matt Palma, Madej, Musson, Coughlin, Bruckman, and Dan Colpoys. The head referee is Matt Palma. He's been doing this for a long time. How long? 36 years.
Yeah.
And this is his 12th Kensington Lions All-Star Classic.
One of the figureheads, one of the Mount Rushmore heads of officials in Western New York, and I'll tell you what, just an outstanding ambassador for athletes in this area, and you know, his whole family too. You know, his daughter is the head softball coach at Hamburg High School, and you know, she's built that thing up and had a lot of success. The Palmas are definitely mainstays in Western New York.
36 years as an official, and again, 12 years working this All-Star Classic.
A lot of talent out here on the field tonight here, Dave. I'm
Sure
gonna tell
is.
you, there's some great football players, and you know, like we highlighted in the open, they are all all-stars. They all have accomplished great things, but in particular, the South, and this is something that I've really tried to go back, and it's been hard to find that data, but I think this is the most all Western New York first team players in one particular team. In fact, the South has 10 of the 25 Buffalo News first team all Western New York selections on their roster this year, and obviously that was highlighted by Tyree Brown, the quarterback out of South Park High School. So I got to tell you what, I mean, the South has a lot, but I'll tell you, the North has had a very mysterious chip on their shoulder. If you've watched interviews and you've watched kind of some of the coverage, and they've been very kind of silent coming into this game. You know,
Yeah.
they've been very business-like, you know, very workman-like here. As you take a look at the South head coach, Rob Curran.
What a good guy he is. One of the good guys in the game over at Alden High School, taking over for Dick Domenico. As you see, Rob Curran is the South head coach. He's been over at Alden for 10 years now. He's been the head coach for 4 years, and, well, he's a good guy. He's a Franny guy. He's a 1998 graduate of St. Francis, where he played football for the Red Raiders and also played at Buff State, graduating in 2003. Couldn't get him off the phone.
No.
The guy loves to talk.
Oh, he's definitely a talker, and he's certainly that's somebody that's extremely passionate about high school football. On the other side,
Greg Bronson.
and in a very different situation, he is actually coaching his final game in high school career, as he is stepping aside to watch his son Daniel, who is the starting quarterback at the University of Rochester.
Let's pause for the anthem.
As I was mentioning, though, Dave, before the anthem there, that Greg Bronson, who is the coach of the North Squad, head coach at Lockport High School since 2007, is coaching his last game. He's stepping aside, and his son Daniel is the starting quarterback at the University of Rochester, and he will be, as you take a look at Coach Bronson there, he will be spending his Saturday afternoons watching his son play.
He's all business, I'll tell you that. Coming into this game during the course of the week, I had a chance to catch up with him a couple of times, and before the teams took the field here today, same thing. He really is all business, and now I understand why. He retired. This is his final game. We mentioned the fact that this could be the final game for many players in white from the south and blue from the north, as they have graduated. These are all seniors. They're not necessarily the best players in Western New York. They're the best seniors that are available for this game. Some will go on, some won't, and we know Greg Bronson is retiring from Lockport.
Right, and moment of silence here. You're observing on the field here. Western New York had lost one of the founders of this game and one of the great ambassadors. We talked about that word a little bit, about high school football and football in this area. That was Gene Zinni, longtime assistant coach at Buffalo State, worked with the Buffalo Destroyers, was the head coach at North Tonawanda High School for a couple years in the 80s. He is just a coaching lifer in Western New York, and we will listen to Paul Peck on the PA for
husband Mark Van Buren and their children John, Tyler, and Emily. Also joining them are Coach Joe Shiflett, Buffalo State head coach Jerry Boyce, and Buffalo State assistant Christian Ozolintz, along with Kensington Lions Club members Milt Dickerson, Gary Chambers, and Len Thornton. Gene, we will miss you, but we will carry on your vision, and we will make you proud.
At a very sad moment. I mean, when he passed away earlier this year. He was in a car accident and never really recovered from it. But like I said, he's a lifer, a coaching lifer. I mean, he's been in the coaching business for, I believe it was close to 60 years. And I mean, when you have somebody like that who just dedicated his life to the game of football and the kids and young men that he coached and helped nurture into great adults, and that's really what the coaching profession is all about. And Rob Curran, actually, as a matter of fact, the South head coach we talked about, played football at Buffalo State while Gene Zinni was there. So obviously, certainly heavy hearts and on the forefront of everybody's mind here tonight, as he was one of the co-founders of this game way back in 1976.
Captains getting together at midfield. The South All-Stars are in white, and the home team, because we're here in Tonawanda, is wearing the blue. As you see, the North All-Stars in blue. The one thing I really like about covering this game, and I've had the honor of doing it now for about 10 years, the last 6 with you, Sean Brusso, is the fact that it's really a who's who of football celebrities, if you will. In Western New York. I mean, you talk about Rob Curran and Greg Bronson, the two coaches. You even talk about the head official, Matt Palma, working for 36 years in that capacity. You talk about some of these players that will go on and play at the next level, or others that are very emotional because they, are wrapping up their high school careers. But it really is a who's who. Len Jankowicz is here. I saw him, the longtime head coach over at Lancaster. Dick Domenico is usually a regular feature around here. It's a lot of fun working this game.
It is. I mean, again, I just got up here literally right as we came up to air here because there's so many people that
I'm going to strangle you when you do that again.
I do it every year. When are you going to learn? I just, you're just talking to everybody. You're seeing people that you haven't seen in a while. You're just, it's good to rekindle some of those relationships because a lot of these people you haven't seen, like a guy like Harry Sugg, for example. Longtime defensive coordinator at Depew. We're talking before the game. I haven't seen him. He goes down to Florida all winter, so I haven't seen him since the end of last football season. It's like, hey, you got us in that playoff game last year, and we hadn't had a chance to talk about that yet. So, you just see a bunch of people, and it's really a great kickoff. It sets the tone for a very unique football experience in Western New York.
So the North All-Stars won the toss and deferred. So there's head coach Rob Curran and the South All-Star sideline. They'll get the ball first here in the opening quarter. I think, I'm not a coach. You are. What would you do? I would take the ball.
It's nice to have it to make your halftime adjustments. If, obviously the South, they have a lot of pride in their defense. They got some great players out their defense. So I think that it's part of the course to take it, stop them, get the ball, and then have the possession and have the first chance to score in the second half. So every game it's different. Like you play a double wing team, you want the ball first because you want to get a lead because after 2 scores, they're not a double wing team anymore. They have to open it up a little bit. They got to play catch up here. They can't really extend the game like they would like to. So every game's got a little bit of different strategy in it. But you got some very good athletes in the South here. One little comment: Tyler Stranahan, as you take a look at one of the North quarterbacks, Canisius High School product, who will be going and continuing his football career at Erie Community College. One of 9 players from Western New York who are going to go play for Coach Scott Pilkey at ECC.
I saw Coach Pilkey here in the stands today too.
Yep, he's again who's who. He's around, and his defensive coordinator was somebody who's very accustomed to this game, and that's Frank Payne.
Yeah.
And Frank Payne was a longtime head coach at Iroquois High School. So here you go. It's really like right here, Dave. It's football season time. And what a great crowd out here tonight.
Hard to believe that the NFL will open their training camp in just a matter of days.
Yes, it
is football season, isn't it? The South All-Stars represented by their fan base over on the far side of the field. As you see there, the North fans below our broadcast location as we're set to kick things off here. The 41st annual Kensington Lions Club All-Star Classic. The kick is away. Lands at the 5, bounces down at the 1-yard line. The South has it at the 10, 15, 20, and down at about the 23-yard line. You see the Southern red and the North in blue.
And we will get our first look at Tyree Brown, starting quarterback for the South team here. Quarterback rotation for the South. They're going to alternate series for each game, so it'll be very interesting to see what they have. The South with a very, very big offensive line. Some very, very solid players in that offensive line as well. Jacob Grant at the left tackle. His cousin Lyle Grant, you'll see him in the backfield quite a bit.
And you see the Sparks helmet on Tyree Brown, the first Buffalo public school to ever win a New York State championship. He was the quarterback. He'll air this one out, and he gets to the 33-yard line, where it'll bring up second down and short. But one thing about Tyree Brown is the fact that, he's a scrambler, but he's got a pretty good arm, too.
They're going to do everything fast. You can see it. They're out here already in no huddle. They're on the ball playing with some tempo here to start this game off.
They take off. Brown out to midfield and beyond. Gets to the 45, and he's brought down at about the 41-yard line. Well, just as I said, he's got a good arm, but he likes to scramble too.
And I was talking to South head coach Rob Curran today, and he said he's just a player that'll kind of it doesn't always go according to script, but he does such amazing things that you have to let him roll with it. They're on the ball again, too.
Hurry up offense, no huddle. Tyree Brown in the shotgun, airs it out in the flat. A short pickup and a good gain. Yards after the catch, give him about 5. 2nd down and 5. One thing you've got to like about the South coaches, the fact that, well, Rob Curran brings a lot of experience and a lot of success from Alden High School, but take a look at who one of his assistant coaches is, and that is Tim Delaney from South Park High School, who obviously knows Tyree Brown probably better than anybody in the stadium right now. That pass falls flat.
Yeah, certainly. His coach had led South Park on that absolutely amazing state title run that I don't think anybody, it was one of the top 10 sports stories of the year in all of Western New York, according to Buffalo News. And we're talking Bill stories, Sabre stories, Big Four college basketball stories. No, South Park High School was in there right there. You should take a look at Rob Curran. Fresh visor, freshly cleaned visor. One of the things the South coaches, if you look at their shoes, they all have you can see their shoes probably on TV from the sidelines. The head coach Rob Curran said, our goal, one of our goals in this game is to win the shoe game. And they wanted to win the banquet speech last night, and everything they want to do, they're just focused on winning this game and winning everything.
As you saw in our graphic a moment ago, the North won last year's meeting, but the South has dominated the series over 41 years. That ball hits the turf, and it looks like it's going to be a turnover. Indeed, it is North ball. Dion Woods with the fumble recovery.
Yeah, the Ken Maurice product and Aaron snap, and that's going to happen sometimes. Again, one of the things that Rob Curran had talked about before the game is some of these guys really aren't, in mid-season form. None of them are in mid-season form as far as conditioning and repetition goes. So, this might be the first time that, they have snapped the ball out of the shotgun in months, heading into practice this week. So it'll be Don Allender, the quarterback out of Newport High School.
Funny, too, because head coach Greg Bronson from the North squad would not divulge who his starting quarterback was going to be. And I don't think that he necessarily wanted to keep it a secret. I really don't think he knew until game time. That handoff stopped in the backfield. Ball on the ground. Loss of about 5 on the play. But yeah, Greg Bronson didn't want to divulge his starting quarterback, not because, again, he was keeping it secret, but because he really didn't know. He wanted to just kind of feel it out here today. So as you mentioned, it is number 22, Donald Allender, 6'4", 210 pounds, out of Lewiston Porter High School, headed to Wisconsin Platteville for his collegiate career. There he is.
Very, very capable quarterback, very strong arm quarterback.
6'4", boy.
They're going to come out an empty set again here.
2 men in motion and a flag. No gain on the play, but it's going to come back anyway.
And that's one of the things you'll get in the All-Star game, and some confusion there. The South defense, and I want to talk about them for a little bit here. They have a fantastic player at defensive end in A.J. Perlino out of East Aurora, Holland. He's out of Holland High School, goes to East Aurora High School. One of the guys that you might not have heard of much in this game. Another guy in that defensive front, you might not have heard a lot about this game, but everybody raved about here. I got 2 guys on the offensive line that I coached this year, so I talked to them, and they're like, this player, Albert Munn, is the best player we've blocked all year. He's incredible, and he's just been a big disruptor. And you got a big front like that, but you have 3 middle linebackers, and Ronnie Scholl of Orchard Park, John Dolak out of West Side of Keystone, and Alex Damiani, who are all Western New York players out of their respective schools.
2nd down and 19 from the 39-yard line. Back to pass, wide open, and he can't haul it in. Justin Jones, an all-Western New York player out of Canisius High School, was wide open, and he couldn't come down with it.
I'd like to take a look at the replay here on the pattern distribution. They just sent some verticals here, and
easiest catch Justin Jones could ever make.
Jones one-on-one against Dolek, who's not the slowest of player, and
he had him by 4 steps.
I know. That speaks to the speed of a player like Justin Jones, and just in and out of the reach. Great ball by Allender, though, too. He hit that right in stride.
Justin Jones, 6'3", 200 pounds. I mentioned out of Canisius High School, where he played for well-respected head coach Rich Robbins. And it's going to bring up a 3rd down and 19. Allender scrambles to his left, being pursued. He's got some room here. Can he pick up the 1st down? Yes! And he's forced out of bounds, but not before picking up a first down for the North.
And we have multiple flags on the field here.
Holding.
Yeah, it's going to have to be multiple spots, but there's one all the way back at the 28-yard line as well. So, you know, I would have to think that this is going to come back, and North kind of shooting themselves in the foot a little bit here on this opening drive, but you know, the North has always had great athletes. And blocking the back, yes, it's going to be brought back because of the holding penalty all the way back at the 28-yard line. So this is going to back things up very, very far. One of the things that's going to be an adjustment in this game is for these players, it'll be the first experience playing college time. The 15-minute quarters in this game are definitely an adjustment here. As you see Coach Bronson, and he's definitely got his game face on already.
He does. He's had it on all week.
It's the tale of two coaches. I mean, Coach Bronson's very direct, very quiet, very, you know, very, very serious about this game. And on the other side, you know, his counterpart, Rob Curran, he talked about the amount of fun he has had coaching these kids and the amount of fun he had with, you know, working with the staff and working with other coaches and getting the experience to be with them. And so you take a look at Rob Curran there on the sidelines.
3rd down and 36. Sean Brusso, you're a coach. What do you do?
Well, jet counter, jet draw, not a bad idea. But get out. But here's the thing. You know, if you
how about that? Come out to Tonawanda High School, and the Warrior cheerleaders are handing out free candy bars. You know,
it certainly caught my eye.
Well, they must have seen my sign. Will work for candy.
Not an almond guy. Had to go with the crisp rice. Oh, punt off the side of the foot here. Oh boy.
So the South team had the game's first possession. They turned it over on a fumble. North did nothing but go backwards and forced themselves with a 3rd and 36. And now head coach Rob Curran, who you see there from Alden High School, will send his offense back out onto the field.
You're going to see him come out in the tight end fullback look now, and you have Lyle Grant in the backfield, EJ Stanishevsky from East Aurora Highland, a big 235-pound fullback, Danny Spire in there, and they're going to be in the pistol. And a big right side of the offensive line, Josh Ball, Pat Hannon, and AJ Perlino of East Aurora Holland.
Snap in the shotgun, quarterback keeper, good for a gain of about 4 on the play. That'll bring up a 2nd down and 6.
I want to just say, for the sake of it, that he just ran inside veer, just because we'll laugh about that at a later date, but it did kind of look like a busted play. Danny Spire, the Lancaster High School product, under the coaching of Eric Rupp. 6'3", 205-pound, and will be headed to Buffalo State. Part of an offense that set 11 school records last year for the Lancaster Legends.
Are they still the Legends? Toss back, up the right side, back to the line of scrimmage. No, actually, it's a loss of about 2 on the play, bringing up 3rd down and 10.
Yeah, Lyle Grant, you see there, a sophomore at Alden, a Connolly Cup finalist as a sophomore. One of only 2 players that it occurred to in Western New York history. Alden kind of struggled a little bit his junior season. He had a breakout senior season, was first team All-Western New York, and first team All-State. Fantastic competitor, great 3-sport athlete. I believe he was second in there. He was a state finalist in wrestling, number 2 in the state in his weight class as a wrestler.
9.5 minutes to go in the opening quarter. 3rd and 11. We are still scoreless. The South All-Stars are in white, and they're going nowhere. Swarming defense from the North, forcing 4th down.
Yeah, they blew that one up for sure. That was definitely, they ran a little misdirection draw play, and Torrey Rogers out of Williamsville North. You want to talk about one of the programs on the rise lately. Williamsville North in the decade of the 2000s, really, they only had 1 winning season. And as of late, Coach Mike Mammoliti has done a fantastic job and has really made that one of the more
How about the new sports facilities out there, too?
Oh, beautiful. Williamsville's got a lot going on. I mean, Williamsville South all the Williamsville schools were kind of down in the 2000s, and then Craig Krasansky took over at Will South. Mammo's got that thing up and running at Williamsville North, and it's an exciting time to be in Williamsville. Chris Glenn at Williamsville East now.
Fourth down, they go for it. A long pass aired out over the outstretched hands of the intended receiver, and the South will turn it over on down. So 2 offensive possessions. Perlino couldn't quite reach that with his fingertips. So the South defense in white will come back out onto the field. And South in their first possession turned it over on a fumble, and now they turn it over on downs.
Yeah, it looked like he slipped out there. He was trying to run a corner route and on the play action pass into the boundary and didn't have a lot of room. North had 2 players on there, and just take a look at the replay here, the misdirection. And Perlino just slips, but
threw it into double coverage, too.
Yeah, Jeremiah Wilkes there from Grand Island High School was in coverage.
In the shotgun, handoff. Trying to catch the edge was Thompson. Good pickup, just short of a first down. He picks up about 9, so second down and 1.
He had to run an off-tackle run there, and it looked like Clyde Davis out of Maryvale High School, number 6 there on the bottom of your screen, did a good job. Looking at John Dolek there on the sidelines getting...
It is a hot day, but it might be more than a cramp.
He's getting some attention down there. And
it's one thing you hate to see in a game like this. These kids have already graduated. They're graduating seniors or graduated seniors. That pass aired out and nearly picked off. The official right on top of the play says incomplete.
Yeah, Austin Neal, break on ball and almost got there too. A little bit of an errant pass into the flat. Just a bit outside, but yeah, South Park High School product.
Neither team looks comfortable on offense.
And it's usually, in an all-star game, I mean, that's usually kind of how it goes. The defense is a little bit ahead of the North. They're learning new systems, they're learning new footwork, new terminology and everything.
Handoff and a run right up the middle. Gain of a couple, but it's not going to be enough for a first down, so it'll bring up a 4th and short. The North with the ball just on their side of midfield. They'll go for it with about 7.5 minutes to go here in a scoreless first quarter.
We're going to bring the chains out and measure them there. And just look at Darren Thompson out of St. Joe's High School. And again, a lot of people have made a lot of light about this South team being very, very talented, having all the All-Western New York players. The North has 1 All-Western New York player and
Justin Jones.
But it is an all-star game, and really anything can happen. And I can personally say I've only predicted one of these all-star games correctly twice, maybe, and all the time, even before the broadcast. So great job by the chain crew down on the field there. It is, like I said, it's a very hot night up here in Tonawanda.
Geez, even I got that one right before the measurement. Even a blind squirrel finds a nut once in a while, as the old saying goes. But talking with the South head coach, Rob Curran, who you see there, at the end of our long conversation, long and enlightening conversation, as they go for it on 4th down.
He might be short.
Good defense there by the South. He might be short. At the end of that conversation, I pointed that out to Coach Curran, and he kind of laughed and he goes, "Oh, so we're the favorite on paper, but the favorite hasn't won in the last few years. We're gonna have to change that."
Right, yeah. And I think they're short again.
Yeah, they are short.
That front there of Munn and Leighton Minor out of Alden High School, and linebackers are Ronnie Scholl. But I'll tell you what, I mean, they talked about Albert Munn, and it's a player that really nobody's heard about in Western New York. I went there and watched his huddle cut-ups, and I was like, wow, he gets off the ball like a madman.
The North did not get a good spot, but regardless, I don't think they picked it up anyway, and the chains will prove that. They're short, and they turned it over on down.
Well, the North is upset about that, but from our vantage, there's no question he was short. I mean, that defense basically built a wall right there in the middle. And take a look at defensive line coach Joe Guerin. Assistant coaches at Alden High School, also a St. Francis product, and
God bless him.
coached at St. Francis a couple years ago. So that connection's there. In fact, Jerry Smith was
He was on the South coaching staff.
And then his daughter had gotten a job, so he went down there and
down to Florida to help her move, from what I understand. South takes over on downs. That pass over the outstretched arms of number 1, David Thomas, out of South Park High School.
that connection was more than lethal for the Sparks this year. And again, they knocked off Maine Edwell, their 62-game winning streak, and shut down a very powerful football team. And South Park knocked off Our Lady of Lourdes in the state championship game, giving the City of Buffalo their first state championship since they were integrated into Section 6 in the 2010 season.
Couldn't be happier for South Park head coach Tim Delaney either, one of the good guys in the game. That ball hits the turf. South is going to retain possession, but in the process, they're going to lose about 4 yards on the play, bringing up 3rd and long.
Seems like these outside plays have really been hard to come by for both teams. The North opened up trying to run a jet sweep. The South just ran a jet sweep there. And
that was just a sloppy transaction.
Yeah, and sometimes it can happen. I mean, that's a hard play to time up. I mean, honestly, I'm one of those guys, and I'm one of those guys that believes in, you know, kind of touch passing the ball now.
3rd down and 13. A ball at the 49-yard line, still scoreless. And from the shotgun, rolling to his left. That pass aired out. He's got a man, and they can't connect. The long pass from Tyree Brown falls incomplete. Good defensive coverage. That'll bring up 4th down.
Well, he rolled against the grain, threw backside, and a lot of air on that ball. I mean, that's a 50-yard throw in the air. It almost hit David Thomas, and they've done that so many times last season.
The South will actually try to play the field position game now, as they're going to kick it away. Line up in the punt formation. It bounces just around the 20, picked up at the 15, and brought down at the 18-yard line. So the North will take over 1st down and 10 with 6:06 to go in the opening quarter.
And it looks like Allender will be coming back out in the quarterback position. And we'll see what they come up here with this drive here. Nice punt by Shuttleworth. He'll be also going to ECC.
Good pressure coming from Brian Lysing out of Niagara Wheatfield, but the South able to get the punt off. A little bit of a hesitation. And I like that call from the South coaching staff and Rob Curran. Play the field position game. Why turn it over on downs at midfield? Both offenses trying to find their groove, their identity, if you will. Handoff up the right side, and, well, that's not going to do it.
Well, Ronnie Schull basically, he read his window very, very well and got there to make the play. And, you know, Schull is such a dominating player in Western New York this year for the Orchard Park Quakers, and Leighton Miner was in there as well on the play, so.
Putting these all-star teams together is no easy task, really. You got 1 week of preparation by high school football rules in Western New York, and the North spent their 7 days with 1 hour in the classroom per day watching video and just over 2 hours on the practice field. The North team practicing during the course of the last 7 days at Lockport High School.
We got a hard count here. And a false start penalty that'll be assessed to the South.
I mentioned how head coach Greg Bronson spent his 1 week of preparation for this all-star game. An hour in the classroom, 2 hours on the field at Lockport High School. On the flip side, Rob Curran, despite the fact that he coaches at Alden, actually practiced at Cheektowaga High School for about 2.5 hours on the field, and really no classroom time. That pass picked off and brought down. The South takes over after the turnover down at the 26-yard line.
Marcus Ford, another one of those all-Western New York guys. Somebody that teams really haven't heard much of because, you really have seen Maryville High School. It wasn't a team that was in the playoffs last year, but, and usually with those all-Western New York teams, you have to make the playoffs to get far into the playoffs to get recognition on it in a lot of cases. However, this player is a fantastic high school football player. he's going to be a good college player. Look at a great break on ball and stepped in front of it. So now again, South with great field position. They're going to go back to more of the pro sets.
Got 2 wideouts and 2 men in the backfield and 1 man coming in motion along the 30-yard line. First down and 10, the handoff off the left side of the line of scrimmage. A good run and a push past the 20-yard line. And the South has the best field position of either team so far here today on their very first possession of the game. The South turned it over on a fumble. They pick off that interception. Both teams have 1 turnover, and the South is driving. Here, you take a look at the good run.
Yeah, just a little lead play, and you know the majority of the South offense will be predicated on the ISO play, the lead play. You know, getting up on the linebacker here, and you got a great fullback. And I remember Frank Payne telling me about the pro-style offense years ago. If you have a good fullback and a good tight end, a lot of it works, and they have both of that, both from the same high school, as a matter of fact.
Same formation, dare I say the same play. Doesn't get the same result, but they do get close to a first down. I think perhaps they will move the chains. No, looks like they'll be just a little bit short.
Lyle Grant, I mean, look at him. You lose him in the huddle there. You know, part of that Alden crew, 8-1 this year, played for Rob Curran, and you know, only about 5'6" on a good day. And
I dare you to tell him that to his face.
I think the hair on his head makes him 5'7", possibly, but tremendously tough football player and athlete. Look at this set.
3rd and 1. Handoff up the middle. They'll pick up the first down. Not much more, but they move the chains with 2.5 to go in the first.
Well, I can watch them do that all night. That's Lyle Grant, and I was fortunate enough to coach him at Alden, running behind Josh Ball and Pat Handon from Springville, who I've coached too. So I could, if they want to just run that play the rest of the night, I'll be thoroughly entertained watching football tonight. But you know, big heavy set, and they're going to get that quick dive back through there in short yardage, and watch the right side of the offensive line, getting good push. Bodies on the ground, and you like to see that when defensive linemen are on the ground.
First down, and a pre-snap flag whistled against the defense of North.
And so the South slowly and meticulously getting into the score zone here.
You tempted to come into an all-star game like this when you have such great players as, you know, both teams do, to maybe air it out and play a wide open style. We saw the South running that no-huddle offense on their first possession. But then all of a sudden you realize, well, that's getting us nowhere. Now all of a sudden you start to grind it out. You kind of change your philosophy. After the penalty, the handoff off the right side of the line of scrimmage, down toward the goal line and stopped just short. A good, solid run.
And there's E.J. Stanishevsky out of East Aurora, Holland, and a little misdirection, a little inside trap play. And a good job of blocking down and kicking out. And, you know, linemen upfield, they get good pursuit angles, but, you know, again, when you give the ball to a big 240-pound workhorse like that.
I think I'd give it to him again.
They're gonna give it to Lyle Grant here on the goal line. And he's in.
Right off and into the end zone, touchdown South.
That's their bread and butter. They get into that short yardage set. You know, it's not the only thing they can do off of it, but they like to do that off of it. And you know, again, you're running behind some big linemen there on the right-hand side, and it's basically an all Class B connection, as you got Perlino from East Aurora in Class B, Handon and Ball from Springville Class B, and Lyle Grant from Class B.
So the South strikes first late in the first. The extra point attempt is blocked. And Sean Bruce, how many times have we seen that come back to haunt a team, especially in a game like this?
It cost us 3 games my first year down in Springville. So we couldn't kick. You know, it's a long way out of the playoffs when you're, you know, when you're out by 6 points.
John Dolak, the third from West Seneca East, headed to ECC, still getting some attention on the sidelines.
Take a look at the replay here and just follow the big line right behind him and in. And look at the push you get from that right side of the line. And that's Sam Ray from Star Point, Trench Trophy finalist, lauded as one of the top guys in Western New York. And those little Class B guys got some good push on him.
Lyle Grant, one happy camper.
And that's hard too, because he gets lost in there. You know, you got a big fullback like Stanishevsky, and you're going to just kind of pop the ball really quickly and a quick hitter to Grant. You know, he can kind of, and Lyle's so tough to take down. And definitely a tough storyline here to see what's going on with Dolak on the sideline.
Wow, Grant's cousin plays over at Depew too.
And is actually the left tackle on the offensive line in Jacob Grant.
Now that's a big boy.
Yes, they're a little different in size.
A little bit.
A little bit, but great athletes and a great family too.
South kicks it off end over end down to the 3-yard line. The return to the 10, 15, 20. Turn back at the 20. He's going to lose yardage on that second effort. It'll be brought down at the 15-yard line. They'll give him forward progress to about the 18, it looks like. So the North will take over after that return from Kane.
And Cordell Kane out of Burgard. Burgard, a very nice program. Jason Kolb.
Yep.
The head coach of that one. And
one of the good guys in the game. I know I say that a lot, but there's a lot of good guys in the game.
Yep.
Coach Kolb is one of them.
Yep. And you know, Jason and I go way back, and you know, knows my family very well, and you know, that little Maryvale connection, for the old Maryvale connection. And Gary Braun, who's the assistant coach on that, longtime coach at Maryvale.
Yep. First down and 10 from the shotgun, a swing pass in the flat down to the 25-yard line, forced out right around the 26. Short of a first down, but a good gain.
And again, good pursuit on the ball, and from the South team there, that was Justin Williams out of Cheektowaga High School on the tackle. Cheektowaga and Coach Mike Fada, very good season there. Second year in a row, they were in the state semifinals.
Now that's a fun team to cover. When Mike Fada's patrolling the sidelines, and you got Scott Zipp as one of his assistant coaches.
Yeah, they're great to cover. They're not so fun to play, but they're a lot of fun to cover, and they run just a fantastic program over there. Great coaching, a lot of stability, great players, and they just do a great job with it.
Another pass in the flat to the 30-yard line, dragged out of bounds at the 32. And that'll stop the clock with 1:29 to go in the opening quarter. Is it me, or does this seem like a long first quarter?
A little bit, yeah. I mean, but a lot of change of possessions. You know, that will do it. No, a lot of sustained drives, clock stopping in and out. And two good completions there to Daquan Hubbard at Niagara Falls High School. Very good season Niagara Falls had. Put together a winning ordeal, and it's like the North really has no will to run the football.
Empty backfield right now with a man in motion. Going to be a quarterback keeper. Dragged down at the line of scrimmage is the starting quarterback, and that is Tyler Stranahan from Canisius.
A quarterback counter, and I guess when you see these linebackers, even without Dolek in there, I guess I can understand why they really don't want to run the ball too much. Albert Munn, as you take a look at there, blows this one up. Him and Alex Damiani out of Lancaster. And
second down and 9. The North has not really enjoyed very good field position here in the first quarter, and that pass is going to fall incomplete. Have they even had the ball on the other side of midfield?
Nope.
I don't think so.
They almost did, but they had that holding penalty that brought it back. But I got to say, I mean, you really, you know, they're going to be in 5 wides at empty all game, you know, to try to spread this defense out and get a matchup. You know, I wouldn't be surprised to see if Jim Marino, the defensive coach for the South, just takes one of those linebackers out and just puts in another skill kid and just say, okay, you play man on a number 3 receiver. Beat us.
You see Stranahan in the shotgun back at his own 28-yard line. Third down and 9. Hangs on to it, then takes off after feeling pressure. He's going to be dragged down at the 40-yard line, about 2 yards short of a first down.
Johnny Scholl again, he covers so much ground. I mean, he had a pick, in the Section 6 championship game against Kenmore West this year that, you know, he's playing a middle linebacker, and Kenmore West, they were hitching him, and Orchard Park was basically saying, yeah, go ahead, not too concerned with it, all right? And, you know, you're not going to beat us on 5-yard hitches. And Ronnie Schull came all the way over from the sideline to pick one of those balls off, and then all of a sudden Kenmore West didn't run any more hitches the rest of the game. So,
imagine.
You know, and that just shows the ranginess and headiness from a player like that.
4th down and 2, but they won't get the snap off as the first quarter comes to a close. Only one score on the board so far. That was Lyle Grant's 2-yard touchdown run as the South All-Stars take a lead into quarter number 2. Back with second quarter action next on Time Warner Cable Sports Channel. A good look at the crowd. It is standing room only, as you can see. No empty seats here at Tonawanda High School as we bring you back to the 41st annual Kensington Lions Club All-Star Game. The South All-Stars leading the team from the north by a score of 6-0 as we head into the second quarter of play. And Sean Brusso, you and I were talking about the fact that it appears that really both offenses are looking for their identity here. And well, the South struck first, but it's only a one-possession game. Hand off to the left side, out to right around midfield and brought down at the 50-yard line. That's going to be good for a gain of, well, enough for first down, let's call it, on 4th down. Nice run by Darren Thompson.
A big hit by Marcus Ford coming over there to the side, and one of those helmet jarring hits like that. But they were able to get to the outside. 3 backs in the backfield, and the only time they've been able to establish the run other than the quarterback scramble so far.
To gain a 10 on 4th down and 2 for Thompson. The North trying to get the ball into South territory over the 50-yard line, I do believe, for the first time today. Three wideouts to the top of your screen. They try to run up the middle. That is stuffed basically at the line of scrimmage, brought down at midfield.
Yeah, Malik Taylor was one of the first guys in there from Lackawanna High School to blow that one up. Albert Munn on that interior as well. And again, that linebacker corps. Dolak is back out there on the field, and this is going to put the North into a, well, looking at their tendencies thus far, a definite passing situation.
Again, you got 3 wideouts to the right side of the line of scrimmage. Snap taken by Stranahan is going to go deep. He's got a man, and he connects. First down, Stranahan to Jones.
Well, they're just going to run 4 verticals and, you know, go about it that way, I guess. So, you know,
Stranahan out of Canisius, the quarterback. Justin Jones out of Canisius, the receiver. The all-Western New York receiver wearing number 7 makes that big catch there. Nice pitch and catch from the Canisius Crusader connection. Stranahan to Jones as you get a good look at our first quarter stats. Rushing yards in favor of the South, 42-17. See the penalties and 1 turnover aside.
And you can see the arm talent that Stranahan has. And again, throwing 4 verts. It didn't really look like it was spaced all that well, but Nonetheless, a great throw and catch.
Off the right side and into the end zone, touchdown. How about that? Tyler Stranahan scampers into the end zone. We've got a tie game with the extra point pending.
And again, they let up right on that right side, and you can see the running ability and a very dynamic athlete is Stranahan. And the North, they're certainly very fired up. And I mean, they've been playing the underdog card all week. You've seen it on various media interviews, and it seems that there's some hostilities a little bit that were brewing this week. So you can see that they're very fired up, and should set ourselves up for a great rest of the game here as the kick is right through the uprights. We'll see how the South will respond here, and not before we take a look at the replay here on that very nice run from Stranahan.
Now you get a look at it. He gets a good push up front and then clear sailing into the end zone on the 18-yard touchdown run from Tyler Stranahan. 6 foot, 195 pounds, played under head coach Rich Robbins at Canisius and is headed to Washington and Jefferson. And he gets into the end zone there. They tack on the extra point. And the North takes the lead early here in the second quarter, 7-6.
We'll see what kind of adjustments they're going to have to make here. And they're going to have to look at personnel, I think, possibly a little bit. I mean, again, those three linebackers, and by default, one of the rules of the game, you have to play a 4-3 defense. So really going empty kind of puts the defense in a bind, just because it turns into a matchup thing, unless if you just start subbing guys out and just putting nickel guys in, and playing it just like a true nickel defense.
Talked about Jacob Grant earlier. You saw the backside of the big guy from Depew High School. And there is Joe Armenia from Sweet Home, headed off to Canisius College. This boot grabs at about the 10-yard line to the 15, 20, 25, 30. A good return. And the offense for the South All-Stars in their predominantly white uniforms with the red numbers will take over 1st and 10 at their own 30.
And again, a good return. Brandon Metz, very good athlete out of St. Francis, a very dominant player. And again, they were the Catholic State champions this year.
Boy, it's hard to believe his head coach at St. Francis, Jerry Smith, has been there for, I can't even do the math. He was there when I graduated in 1985.
Another coaching lifer, as we talked about.
Looks great these days, too. I was hoping to see him on the sidelines, but as you mentioned, initially part of the coaching staff had other obligations. That pass downfield, caught 20, 15, 10, touchdown! Wow, biggest play of the day.
I see your vertical pass, and I raise you vertical pass. A little pump and go, a 70-yard touchdown to David Thomas. And man, how many times did we see that last fall there, Dave? And going to Wagner College, Division I school. Chris Woodard going to school there. He was in the game last year out of North Tonawanda High School. But a good hitch and go, and Thomas just, when he turns on the jets, Tyree Brown, and he has that arm ability to lead him and throw that ball that long. And the South is going to go for 2 to try to extend this lead a little bit. But wow, just like that, I said, how is the South going to answer? Well, that's a heck of an answer, Dave.
So how about that? Tyree Brown with a long 70-yard connection. Flag on the play. During this 2-point conversion attempt, it's going to be thrown to the back of the end zone, and it falls incomplete. And I think the penalty will most likely be against the South anyway.
That looks like it's going to be an illegal formation, I believe. See, check in with head referee Matt Palma. Illegal formation on the offense, and it looked like the Z receiver was on the ball. You should take a look at the replay here. The pump, the deep ball, and that's a state championship connection.
Kyle Smith, the lone defender back out of Albion High School. You see him there, number 1, trying to chase him down. Smith has some wheels, but he couldn't get close.
Great athlete out of Albion High School. Like I said in the open, I remember watching him play in a 7-on-7, and I was talking to their head coach, Gary Parisi, who is a real big Alabama fan. I just wanted to throw that into the broadcast.
Look who's downstairs. It's Amy Audibert.
Thanks, Dave. I'm here with Coach Shiflett, who for 60 years not only worked alongside as a professional, but also a friend of Coach Gene Zinni. In your own words, describe Coach Zinni to us and what he left to the game of football.
Well, Coach Zinni and I went to football together at University of Buffalo. We were on that 58 Lambert Cup team. And we coached together, and we played football together, and we coached against each other, but he's been one of my best friends for 60 years. So, and he's a heck of a good line coach, heck of a line coach. He's a good guy, works hard with the kids, and he's done a lot for the sport, and we're going to miss him.
Yeah, and you look at this Lions game, and it was his vision, and it was a team of guys, but he was a big part of that, and you look 41 years later, and it's still booming around. And how does it make you feel to stand here on the sidelines, knowing that he's probably looking down, and he's probably pretty proud still?
Yeah, he's looking down. He's running this thing we coached together in this too 3, 4, 5 times. And he run this thing all these years, and he also helps run the McNally Lineman Camp, which we're doing this next 3 days. So Gene Zinni has coached semi-pro, he coached college, he coached high school, he coached Little League. He coached everything in football.
All right, and as a true coach, I know you're having fun tonight, but analysis on that first quarter, because I know your brain's also going 100 miles an hour right now.
Well, it's a good game. It's a good defensive game. Both teams are playing good defense. We don't want to get hit. But anyhow, they're playing good defense, but there's some big plays and a couple drop passes that would have made a big difference. But it's a good football game. I think it's an even game.
All right, Coach. Well, I know you want to get back on the sideline. Thank you so much for your time and all you've given to the game. We'll go back up to you guys.
Great job, Amy. And there's a guy you wouldn't mind sitting down and having a cup of coffee with and talking Western New York football as you get a look at the replay and that big gain from Darren Thompson, giving the North some pretty good field position and a first down.
Yeah, you're going to get a late hit here. Personal foul on Marcus Ford for a late hit. That's going to move it up 15 yards. I'll tell you what, you want to talk about Western New York coaches who could be in the discussion for the Mount Rushmore of football coaches. Joe Shiflett could be in that argument, could be in that discussion. Fantastic coach, Sweet Home High School, Tonawanda High School for years, and ran a very, very successful program. Took over at Niagara Falls when they first split from LaSalle, or merged with LaSalle High School, and they had a pretty nice little run there, and he coached a young man by the name of James Starks. Very good football coach and another coaching lifer in the profession.
Run off the left side of the line of scrimmage. A good hard run from Thompson, who takes a shot, and he's brought down at the 40-yard line. Of course, James Starks probably headed, I would assume, to the University of Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame. World champion, a Super Bowl winner with the Green Bay Packers.
Go Pack Go, baby. And you look at the counter play here and do a good job of trapping and kicking out, and Marcus Ford patrolling that strong side of the defense, and what an outstanding player he is.
How many great players have we seen over the years play in this game? Let's see who emerges as the snap is taken by Allender. Had some time, makes the connection, but it's a modest gain, if at all, bringing up third down and long.
Yeah, he, I'll tell you what, I mean, Marcus Ford again on this play, just all over the place. And you look at John Dolak there. Number 33, looks like Tim Riggins from the show Friday Night Lights. You get the hair coming out of the back. He's got the, the tough side of football he plays. Very, very impressive football player. He's got one speed, and it's just go. I watched quite a bit of West Seneca East film from last year, and I'll tell you what, he is just a great football player.
A Friday Night Lights reference. Unbelievable. Pass in the flat. They're going to lose 4 on the play.
And there's that great speed and range we were talking about from Johnny Dolak.
There you go. Right on cue, my friend, right on cue.
But, at one point when the schedule was going around, we were originally going to play West Seneca East in Springville this year, and so I went and broke down all their film from last season, and I'll tell you what, it was just each game was more and more impressive than the next, and bothered a little bit by a lower body injury earlier in the game.
It doesn't look, I was going to say, it doesn't look like he's suffering any side effects now. Number 33 in white for the South All-Stars is John Dolak, the third, 6 foot, 210 pounds, as you mentioned, playing for Jim Marino at West Seneca East. Allender with the dump off, good for first down yardage and then some. They'll cross over the 35-yard line and move the chains in the process. Justin Jones coming down with yet another reception.
That's glamorous. Break out the run pass option. On that play, that's a run play with a pass built in. And basically they were running an inside zone was the play call, so they read the end. And then the next read is the linebacker. So watch, here we go. Now they're going to read this linebacker, and he's in conflict. He can't be in the flat and on Jones at the same time, while still taking a run read. So it was a run pass option. It's one of the new cute things to do in high school in football around Western New York. Well, football around everywhere, I guess you could say, college football. And, you know, that's a nice part of their offense there.
Man in motion on 1st and 10. Bobble, flick play. Back. Oh boy, they made something out of nothing. But there's going to be a flag on the play.
Yeah, a definite hold on the edge there. That's an easy one, I think.
They made something out of nothing that became nothing again.
You know, they tried a little trick play here, and yeah, the holding call is going to bring it back there. And
see the head official in the white hat. That, as we mentioned earlier, is Matt Palma. 36 years patrolling high school football fields here in Western New York. This is his 12th Kensington Lions All-Star Classic. Guys like that, you've got to appreciate it. I know you're a coach, and coaches have a tendency to yell and scream at officials. Well, not that guy. I'm sure Greg Bronson doesn't, but you know, most coaches yell and scream at the officials. But at the end of the day, you got to admire a guy that's been doing this for 36 years and loving every minute of it.
Yeah, he's, like I said, just such an ambassador for high school athletes in this area, and, you know, in the Lancaster community in particular.
First down and a country mile as that handoff is given to Thompson, and he gets some good positive yardage there. A well-needed positive gain for Thompson and the North All-Stars.
Well, they've been able to break the edge a little bit, too, and you can see Dolick got caught down in the wash and couldn't really take the alley there, and they were going to try to attack the weak side here, and again, to be able to get 13 yards of that back, you know, that's certainly a very nice thing. So
they did get a big chunk of it back. But it brings up a 2nd down and 6. Allender, the handoff up the left side, down to about the 26-yard line, just shy of a first down.
And Ronnie Scholin there on the tackle again. That front doing a pretty good job. Leighton Miner and Albert Munn, he's going to check out here and get a breather as
it is a warm night in Western New York, no doubt. It's hot on the field.
It is. I think it's been hotter in previous years. I mean, the officials haven't invoked the mandatory water break yet. I know there are certainly some nights that.
Yeah, when the heat index on the field gets what, over 90, 92, something
probably over 80, 86 is usually when they start.
Allender back to pass, has a man open, a short gain, but good for a first down. Justin Jones with yet another reception. He's having a big night.
Yeah, again, they went back to that little RPO, that run pass option, you know, run play with a pass built in. It's really essentially what they're doing is like the triple option. All right, because you got 3 options. There's the run. All right, and we're just going to dump that little stick route, and then you have somebody in the flat. Linemen are allowed to get 3 yards upfield. Little known thing in there is that linemen are allowed to be 3 yards upfield. You know, on the pass. So, no, I'm getting a look at from Mr. Trusky said no. I might be maybe 3 feet. It could be or something. There's something in there that makes these plays where you can block run but still throw the ball work.
I'll take your word for it.
One of the new, yeah. We don't really do it. We still run veer at Springville, but a lot of these spread teams.
First down, Allender rolls to the left. He's hogtied and thrown out of bounds at the 16-yard line.
clearly the two players with the two longest haircuts in this game just meeting there. In fact, Allender is Daryl Johnston, and everybody knows Daryl Johnston. You know, Newport High School product, Syracuse University, the Dallas Cowboys.
Dallas Cowboys, yep.
Won 3 Super Bowl rings there, and that is his nephew. You know, Daryl Johnston is his uncle.
Did he really? 3 Super Bowl rings?
Yep. Unfortunately, 2 of them
against Buffalo.
2 of them against Buffalo, but. And this is the drive that the North team needed. Over 6 minutes. This will be the 12th play of the drive.
2nd down and 5. Handoff to the left. Good for another 1st down. That'll put him in 1st and goal.
The North doing a good job again of kind of controlling the edge. They're kind of running that little wrap play where they outside zone stretch. And you take a look at Angelo Marzello of Clarence High School. Will be going to Mount Union. And under the tutelage of Mark Lair. Look at the nice job the North did of setting that edge over there and not really letting the defensive line establish anything there. And they're able to hook that outside shoulder, and we get ourselves a 1st and goal here. We're going to go back to the empty set.
Under 5 minutes to go in the 1st half. In the shotgun, Allender with Jones in motion. Allender takes the snap, and he is stuffed right at the line of scrimmage.
Oh, Ronnie Scholl and Marcus Ford getting over there, and again, those 2 guys have been all over the field for this South defense. Fantastic job. And bring up a 2nd and goal. I wouldn't be surprised to see him come back to that little RPO. You take a look at Greg Bronson, his son Danny Bronson right there to the right. Assistance in the offensive play calling. Not the only situation where you see those young former quarterbacks. On the south side, you have Brian Stolt, who's one of the coaches. I'm sure everybody in Western New York knows Brian Stolt. And I asked Coach Curran, I said, you know, what is your first impression of Brian as a coach? I mean, you and I both know him as a player and as a leader, and what do you think? And his reply was, well, he's been a coach since he was a little kid.
Allender back to pass, scrambles, forced out of the pocket, and into the end zone he goes. Touchdown, North.
This is a situation where the North should go for 2 here. And they will do just that. Allender on the scramble. 2 touchdowns from the North squad, both on quarterback runs. So, you know, certainly the athletes there. A 9-yard scamper from Allender. And we'll see what kind of a package they're going to bring in here. Andrew Bronson's going to check in. Pat Orsini's going to check in.
So, Sean Brusso, this seesaw battle continues, literally a seesaw battle. South scored first, didn't connect on the extra point, 6-0 at the end of the 1st quarter. The North would score on the 18-yard run from Tyler Stranahan and tack on the extra point that led it 7-6. South scores again, misses their 2-point conversion. Now the North scores, they go for 2, and they're going to jump into the end zone. That is Justin Jones. Or no, sorry, Thompson, and he makes it look easy.
Well, they've run that stretch play to the left side, and you know, the South really hasn't had much of an answer for that. We'll see how Coach Marino, Coach DiRenzo over there adjust. And the North jumps up to a 15-12 lead. And you know, again, they just really haven't had much of an answer to that. Here's the touchdown. Allender out of empty. And again, this is just, here's the difficult part of the All-Star game. All right, you got a kid that can run in there, but you have to drop back, and you can't blitz anybody. You can't stunt up front. All right, you're really kind of just playing man-on-man up front. And, you know, it's basically like a field day for the quarterback. You know,
2-point conversion, Thompson coming right into your living room. Great work from our camera crew here at Time Warner Cable Sports Channel. And that gives the team in blue, the North All-Stars from Western New York, a 15-12 lead.
Sam Ray leading the way off that left side from start point as he was able to pancake Perlino.
20-25, brought down at the 26-yard line, and you see the North All-Stars in that scoring drive, 15 plays, they cover 80 yards and took 8 minutes and 19 seconds off the clock in the process.
Yeah, and you want to keep that potent South offense off of the field. And
well, by all accounts, and I'm not insulting anyone when I say this, because I was talking to the North head coach Greg Bronson, his first time as an all-star head coach out of Lockport High School. He's been in the game for 29 years, 9 years as a head coach, and Coach Bronson admitted the South is stacked. They're loaded. They're the favorites. We're the underdogs. Even Rob Curran, the South coach, said, yeah, we're favorites. They're the underdogs. I mean, nobody's denying that, but these games rarely unfold that way, and that's what we're seeing here today with the North leading by 3.
Well, if they played football games on paper,
yeah,
the landscape of Western New York would look a lot different, I think. You know, you see some other programs that, you know, if games were played, let me put it this way, if games were played on paper, we'd be a 3-win team in Springville. Because we just don't have the athletes that some of our opponents have, but it's not. You know, it's a game of a lot of preparation and a lot of reaction and a lot of thinking and a lot of physicality too. You know.
Pass in the flat. Talk about making something out of nothing. That looked like it was going to go for a loss. Instead, it goes for a first down.
Jack Myers out of West Seneca West High School getting his first touch of the game. I had a coach who told me once, a guy by the name of Bobby Mullen, who I'd learned, probably the exception of the guy I coach with now, more about football than anything ever. He said it's a brutally simple game with an emphasis on brutal. And as you see Myers there and Lyle Grant leaning out there to lead block and trying to get the cavalry going there, and South picking up a first down.
Uh-oh. First sack of the day for either team. Blowing that play up big time was Jenkins.
Yeah,
DeAndre Jenkins out of Lockport.
And that's the thing. I mean, there is not a more athletic division in football in Western New York than AA North, and he's another product out of Lockport High School. You know, Kenmore West, they have the athletes on in that program to win 8 games every year. I mean, they're just loaded every year. And, you know, it's just there's a lot of great talent in the AA North League, even though the AA South runs the show in AA. So it's kind of a very give and take type of thing.
Second down and 20. Spire with the handoff. Ball might be down. There's a mad scramble for it at about the 35-yard line. It looks like the South is going to keep it. Dan Spire, the quarterback now for the team in white, the South All-Stars, known as a pocket passer, and that time he handed off to Lyle Grant.
Timeout on the field here. We're going to have to see who took it. I think the South took it with only 1:12 left on the clock here. If I was the North, I would have probably taken it, honestly, because you're in a 3rd down and long situation here, and you want to get the ball with one more shot before the half, because remember, the South will start the second half getting the ball. And can't really get confirmation on who the timeout was on. But in any event, we'll see what Coach Curran has up his sleeve. And his counterpart on the other side, Greg Bronson.
Yeah, Greg Bronson, I mentioned, 29 years, has now retired from Lockport High School. This is his swan song, if you want to say that. 9 years as the head coach at Lockport High School. He was a linebacker in college at Williams College, which, yeah, I had to ask him where that is. Where's Williams College? It's in Williamstown, Massachusetts. Graduated in 1986.
Classy guy.
He is.
Coached against his son Danny when I was doing basketball up at North Tonawanda, and just a great kid, very respectful. And then on the other side, the very jovial Rob Curran.
I think the last time I saw anybody wear a white visor like that was Steve Spurrier.
Listen, if anybody can rock the visor, it's Curran.
The visor.
With the red shoes.
All right, after the timeout, we're going to get a pre-snap flag on the play.
That'll be a timeout, I think, Dave.
Timeout?
Yeah, the North wanted to go over something there, but, you know, I mean, I'll tell you what, you coach with Rob Curran, and I did for a year, and he's a very positive thinking person, you know, and he loves the game of football. He loves coaching the kids, and he's just, you know, here's the best thing about Curran, okay? You know, every conversation, and there was some rough moments for me at Alden. That was a very tough year for me trying to adjust and get acclimated there. But every time I talked to him, I felt better after I talked to him. And I think the kids have the same way, that every time you have a conversation with Rob Kern, you feel good about yourself.
There are people like that, and he's one of them. You're right.
He's a great motivator, and he's just somebody that I had a pleasure to learn from and work with for the year that I did. And on the other side, again, 2 Bronsons right there for you. Greg Bronson and then his son Dan. And kind of cool if father-son, hey, let's develop an offense here. Maybe integrate some things they do with the U of R into their deal.
3rd down and 15, 1:11 to go in the first half. Spire airs it out. A dangerous pass falls short and incomplete.
He was looking for Chris Liberatore, and ball fell in just behind him there. It looked like they were trying to kind of layer up that right side down the sideline, so it's going to bring a punting situation up for the South. You take a look at the replay. Danny Spire, almost 3,000 yards passing in his high school career, and yeah, just a little bit behind him. What a fantastic year he had last year. Again, that offense in Lancaster set 10 school records under the tutelage of new head coach Eric Rupp, who is just going to do wondrous things for that program. He, I think, is going to be the guy that'll be able to resurrect that thing. He's a Lancaster alumni. He's had success wherever he has coached, and he was on the varsity staff under Coach Len Jankowitz, our colleague, Coach Len Jankowitz, my high school coach. And then was down on the JV when Coach Jankowitz retired for a couple years, and they just dominated everybody pretty much, and then got a spot back up on the varsity, and again, 10 school records later, and is the next head coach in Lancaster. As you take a look here, that's Nick Ramp from Silver Creek, part of the Silver Creek Forestville program. Again, you get some of the small school teams in here in the class for the South. Silver Creek Forestville in the Class D, and again, probably a very competitive Class D this year, with Maple Grove back down in it, Randolph, Franklinville, Ellicottville, and Frewsburg. That's going to be a loaded division this year.
Under a minute to go, first half. Stranahan keeps it, gets past midfield, and he runs out of bounds. Nice play, and they'll stop the clock, move the chains in the process. You bring up Len Jankowitz, the longtime coach at Lancaster High School. I'm a very humble guy. I don't like to brag or anything. I definitely don't like to sign autographs, but he asked me for an autograph earlier, and I had to sign all the best to Coach Jankowitz.
Well, he's the reason I'm here today. He's the reason I'm coaching. He's the reason I'm coaching football. He's the reason I'm, kind of a surreal moment here as we take a look at the injured player on the ground is John Dolak. And
again, lower body. He's been favoring that right knee or right calf most of the night. It's a good run by Stranahan.
And he was down kind of before it even happened, and you hope that it's not serious. And we'll try to get more information on that as we can. But I'll tell you what, here's a guy that just absolutely, has done so much for so many people around Western New York, and, built that Lancaster program up into one of the classiest programs in Western New York.
I didn't think a guy like Jankowitz, as you get a good look at the crowd on a warm summer night here in Tonawanda, I didn't think a guy like Coach Jankowitz could actually stay away from the game when he retired. Thought it'd be like one of those Dick Domenico things where you'd see him back on the sidelines at some point in some capacity.
I think he likes what he does now. I mean, here's the best story, right? So, and this is going to kind of sound weird because I'm going to say the word we a lot here. We, at Time Warner Cable Sports Channel, came down and broadcasted our football game last year, Springville against Southwestern, which it featured another one of our colleagues in Jehu Kalkrick.
Yeah.
And Coach Jankowitz came down to check out practice and see how things are going. And he's really good friends with Coach Jancy, and they go way back, and we're competitors against each other, as you can see.
Yeah, Dolak is struggling, and he has been really all day. You hope it's nothing more than a cramp on a hot day.
Yeah, I think
it might be more than a cramp.
It's a little more than that.
Back to your story. Back to your point.
Well, so excuse me. He's on the field, right? He's just kind of interacting and stuff. So I'm in there, and I'm having my quarterback meeting, and on the board, with Colin and Connor, and we're just kind of going over our audibles for that week and what they're doing in our offense. And then it dawned on me, I'm like, well, we're still missing a few guys. Some guys haven't come in back yet. Where are our linemen? And we go out to the field an hour after practice. There's Coach Jakewitz, and he's teaching our linemen. He's got all of our linemen out there, and he's working on, combos and coming off and stuff. And I'm just, my quarterbacks are looking at me like, huh? I'm like, just he's in his glory. Let him go and enjoy every moment of it.
Exactly. He's a guy you can't say no to.
He loves coaching kids. He loves coaching the game. He loves teaching the game. He'll talk. He's taught me a ton about football in my life. And again, I owe that man a lot, as I'm sure all of us do.
All right, after the injury to Dolak, Stranahan is flushed out of the pocket, and he's going to be sacked back in his own territory, about the 48-yard line. A big loss on the play with only about a half a minute to go here in the first half.
And I'll tell you what, I mean, that's just good rush lanes, and that's really what the South is going to have to do to contain it. The thing that's really beaten them more than anything has just been the quarterback scramble. And again, I talked about how you can't stunt, you can't blitz anybody, blah, blah, blah. So it's designed for running quarterbacks to kind of have theirs. You saw Tyree Brown early on have a good game, have a good gain in the first quarter. But they need to basically stay wide and then kind of condense down their rushing lanes. And they did a good job of that, Perlino and Munn. Again, two of the maybe unheard of guys in Western New York. I mean, not a lot of people see East Aurora games. A lot of people watch B-South football. You take a look at Albert Munn. Not a lot of people see Riverside play because they're not a playoff team, okay? They're not in the forefront. They're not in the spotlight. People don't talk about them so much. And then you see these guys come out of the woodwork in these kind of games, and it's like, oh, my goodness, these guys are fantastic football players.
Down to the sidelines, Amy Audibert has an injury update for us. Amy.
Go out earlier in that first half, and his right knee was pretty tender. He went back in the game and kind of re-injured it. You hope the best for him. His college coach next year is here at the game. We're going to catch up with Erie Community College head coach very shortly in the second half, so of course he wanted to probably show off getting ready to go to camp. He is out there still taking a look at that right knee. Good wishes to his way. Back up to you guys.
All right, thanks for the update, Amy. That pass in the flat again. They're going to keep him in bounds. Clock continues to move.
Well, his forward progress was stopped in bounds, even though he was dragged out of bounds, but his forward progress was down. So, yeah, the clock does need to run there. So the North is going to have to take their final timeout. And that's basically a play to make it more manageable. Now, that player, you have to think situation, I have to get out of bounds. But now it's a more manageable 3rd down and 9. And, again, clock is the enemy. It's only 14 seconds left, and you have no timeout. So you got to try to throw and get half of it. You're 43 yards out. If you could get some of it, get on the ball. I'm not really quite sure what kind of a kicking game the North has as far as kicking field goes and where that range goes, but we'll see. And again, in an all-star game, you got a player like Justin Jones. I mean, he's gotten open deep twice, caught one of them. And you got to think that Stranahan would think to, how can I get back to him? Maybe they'll have something up their sleeve here. It is an all-star game. We haven't really seen much chicanery yet. You see Dolak there on the sidelines getting iced up here.
"14 seconds to go on the heels of a timeout from the North All-Stars. They lead at 15-12. Stranahan back at the 50. Had a man open, but it goes in and out of the hands of Bronson.
All right, so here's just the premonition that you got to be thinking if you're the North. You have to be thinking that, okay, yes, we have to punt the ball. Our first punt was not very good. They could throw another bomb to David Thomas here. We have too much time. We have too much time on the clock. You see Andrew Bronson right there, son of Greg Bronson and brother of Daniel Bronson, both coaches in this game. And you have to think, though, that, oh boy, this could get scary here. I've got to kick this ball out of bounds. And it looks to me as if the offense is still on the field. So,
well, with 11 seconds to go,
we'll see. Stranahan is at 5, not at 7. I don't think a quick kick's coming here.
Stranahan scrambles to his right, buys some time, has Jones open, and it falls incomplete in the end zone. A for effort, but Jones can't come down with it.
All right, so now you got 2 seconds on the clock to see if, and you just got to think David Thomas here. you know, not a bad idea to take a shot, I suppose. I probably would have punted it out of bounds, and we'll see.
I wouldn't have punted.
No? Well, it is an all-star game.
all-star
It is
game.
an all-star
Yeah.
game, yeah. I gotta just think that way, I guess.
That's what makes us a good broadcast tandem. Good partners. We don't see eye to eye at all.
I go off on my coaching tangents, and you bring me back to reality.
I don't know
This
about
is why,
that.
well, I tried to bring me back to reality. Keep me on a leash.
He's got some room out to the 40, 35.
Losing room.
Lost room. Forced out of bounds. And time expires, but a good final play from Tyree Brown, known as a scrambler, and he's shown us why. He's also the Connolly Cup winner as the top high school football player in Western New York in 2016. And there's a good look at David Thomas. And we'll send it down right now. Before we head to halftime, Amy Audibert.
Thanks, Coach. As much as these All-Star games are about fun, I've certainly noticed being on your sideline that these guys are here to compete and the level goes up. From the opening kickoff, what have you noticed different than what you've seen in the past week from these guys?
Well, you know what? We've just got, like we expected, it's a big stage. They've got a lot of good players on their roster, and this is just a competitive football game, which is what we thought we'd see.
Yeah, and it's no secret that your team is very stacked offensively
Sure.
and defensively, big players, but maybe some challenges coaching that, trying to find touches for everybody.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's the key. We're trying to get the ball. You know, our goal was to kind of get the ball in as many kids' hands as we could early, get them into the game a little bit, and we're certainly going to keep trying to do that.
Yeah, and just second half adjustments, it's got to be tough when it's a fresh new team. You've only been together for a week practicing, but
sure.
what are you going to tell them in the halftime to get this win?
We just need to keep doing what we're doing. I mean, we're sputtering a little bit offensively, but you know what? We came together late in the week, and I think that's going to happen in the second half for
All
us.
right, Coach, thanks. Good
Okay,
luck.
thank
Good luck
you.
in that second half. We'll be right back for more high school all-star football action on Time Warner Cable Sports.
Well, I got a light here too, Dave, so. Mr. Miller, you got a white sheet of paper I can wipe balance on? Oh, yeah. Years I played, we beat them the year before. Lovely, Dave. Thank you.
Got one, me?
Yeah, that's one. What's one of blue?
Lions Club guy? That's right there. Nick? Yes, he is here.
Glenn Thornton?
It's me.
Okay. What's your official title?
I'm president of the club.
Wilson. Everybody enjoying the Buffalo waterfront, including our little duckling friends, as we bring you back into Tonawanda High School. It is halftime And it is the North All-Stars leading the South High School All-Stars by a score of 15-12. Halftime right now. I'm David Miller, and I'm joined by Len Thornton, the president of the Kensington Lions Club. 41st year for this All-Star game. How did you get involved? What does this mean to the community?
Well, the game actually preceded me. I didn't join the club until about the late 80s, but it had been going on since 1976, founded by Lion Milt Dickerson, Lion Harry Chambers, and the Lion we just lost a few months ago, of course, Lion Gene Zinni. And it is a great loss to the club. He was Mr. Football in Western New York, really, and a very distinguished career and a great person.
You know, it's great, too, Len, to see not only the players come out that perform at this high level, but the coaches, other dignitaries. It really draws out the best of Western New York.
Absolutely it does, and it's a team effort. A lot of the Lions participate. The officials donate their time, the coaches, the coaching staffs. We get facilities given to us very cheap for the practices and for the game tonight. There's a beautiful facility here in Tonawanda. We really appreciate that. And it just all comes together, and it's a great charitable event, and it's a chance to showcase these players one last time before they go off to college.
What are some of the other events that you work with?
We have a couple other significant events in our club. Around Christmas time, we do a big turkey giveaway. We give away about 60 full turkey dinners with all the dressings and everything, box full of food, and probably about $800 worth of Christmas presents to needy families in our community. And Lion Gene, the late Lion Zinni, he also spearheaded that project. He started that some 10, 12 years ago.
Where does the money come from? How can people make donations?
This is our major fundraiser. We make the bulk of our money for our charitable fund on this game, and it's through ticket sales and program ads, and we do pretty well with that, pretty consistent. We've kind of got it down to a science, but we're always looking for more program sponsors. Donations can be made directly to us if people want to help out in our Western New York community, and the bulk of our funds do stay right here in Western New York. They can go to kensingtonlions.org for more information.
Why high school football? What's made this so special to the Kensington Lions Club?
Well, the history of the game, as they tell me, is UB was running a North-South All-Star game, and they lost organization, and the game was going to fall apart. And they came to some people in our club, and we picked it up and ran with it and rejuvenated it. And it was on a shoestring the first year. We didn't know if it was going to make it. Luckily, it did with the founders' help and their perseverance. And it's just grown every year. And now it's a well-oiled machine and a really great event.
And you know, Len, I look forward to working it every year. I believe this is my 10th time, and we've been out to Depew High School before. They've got great facilities, and this facility here at Tonawanda High School, it's only the third year this field is in use right now. How do you decide what venue is going to host the annual Lions Club All-Star Game?
We try and move it around as much as possible. We were looking at Sweet Home this year. We had some parking concerns as well as the capacity of the stands, the bleachers. We do get a pretty good crowd for this game. A little bit bigger than you would get on a typical season game for high school. So there's a couple factors that go into that. But that being said, we try and move it between the north and the south towns, make it a little bit easier on the players from both teams where they're coming from.
Well, thank you very much for your time. We appreciate it, and keep up the good work.
Thank you very much.
All right, Len Thornton, the president of the Kensington Lions Club, as we present the 41st Annual High School All-Star Game from Tonawanda. Halftime continues next on Time Warner Cable Sports Channel.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Highlight stats break, and we go upstairs. We got a lot of time.
Okay. So it means I got more time to socialize.
We will, before you go into highlights, Brusso and I will shoot the shit for a while. Easier to kill time before highlights than after. Okay.
In addition to the missing keys that we have also found a missing cell phone, an iPhone.
What?
White with silver. If you've lost your phone, head on up to the press box.
No, I just checked for my keys though, just in case.
Car keys. Claim them by the fourth quarter. We're going to give the car to the winning coach.
Gotcha.
All right. Yeah.
I do like Rob's shoes though. I gotta talk to him.
Oh yeah. Oh, Curran's shoe game. Oh yes. Okay. I love Robbie Curran.
It is the North versus the South. It is the 41st annual Kensington Lions Club High School All-Star Game as we bring it back to Tonawanda High School and a look at the crowd supporting the South All-Stars. Along with Sean Brusso and our sideline reporter Amy Audibert, my name is David Miller. Rick Carneth manning the controls in the truck as our producer and director here today, and our entire Time Warner Cable Sports Channel crew. So glad you can join us, and boy, oh boy, you know, it's that time of year. I just love coming to the field, and then it's going to be the ice rink, and then it's going to be back to the field. We're back.
Can we stay out of the ice rink for a little while, please?
Yeah.
I'm going to enjoy the summer for a little bit more. But
Yes, sir. You enjoy that first half?
yeah, it was a great first half. You know, I mean, I think both teams, they went through the process of feeling each other out just a little bit, seeing what they have. I think both coaches needed to kind of feel, you know, their players out a little bit. What do we have? How are they going to respond to different situations? So I can tell you, I was very impressed with the adjustments both coaches made, particularly on their scoring drives. South, you know, I think that the North has kind of got the South on their heels a little bit defensively. And we talked about how dominant that South defense was with or without Dolak. And now that you have this player, you know, they're kind of a little tentative now, and they're starting to pick away. It's going to be interesting to see what adjustments now, because again, it's not like you got a full stable of a playbook, and it's like, okay, well, they're doing this, we have to do that, or hey, you know, why don't we do this personnel-wise? You know, you only had a week to prepare your guys, and you got the rules restrictions, so it will be very interesting to see how both teams adjust here in the second half.
The very first offensive possession for the South, they went no huddle, hurry up, and, well, it resulted in a turnover on that first possession. They seemed to change our offensive philosophy after that.
Yeah, they kind of went back to more of the conventional offense that we're used to seeing Rob Curran run, where you have the tight end, you have the fullback in there, they're going to lead them up and run behind their big line, and they did a pretty good job of that, and they kept some things off direction. But I got to tell you what they need to do here in the second half is, I think they need to throw one little curveball at them here, all right, and then get back into control of the clock here. But one little curveball just to keep the defense.
You know that's going to happen. You know it's going to happen.
And it could be that little misdirection they ran with Stanishevsky, that little inside trap they ran with him. Great play call down by the goal line. I'd like to see him come back to that. And again, you still have the running ability of Tyree Brown, which really hasn't been unleashed yet. On the other side, the North, you know, if you were going to tell me that there was going to be a quarterback that was going to take over in the running game, well, obviously we would have said Tyree Brown coming into the game. But no, it's been Stranahan. And Allender. Mm-hmm. So it's been a very interesting chess match so far. And again, obviously the North, they're on top right now at halftime. And if you would have pulled a lot of people in this stadium, you would have said you're crazy with all the talent. But again, that's why we talked about the game's not on paper. That's why we play the game on the field.
All right, Sean, let's take a look at some of our stats and highlights from the first half. We start with the game's opening score, and that is a 2-yard run from Lyle Grant, who gets the congratulations from his teammates. They were unable to tack on the extra point. 6-0 South led after the first quarter. In the second quarter, you see Tyler Stranahan. That is an 18-yard touchdown scamper. They would tack on the extra point, and the North All-Stars had their first lead of the game. It was very short-lived, though. Watch this, Dandy. That pass from Tyree Brown covers 70 yards to David Thomas. They would go for the 2-point conversion and fail, so they missed both of their extra point opportunities. It was 12-7 South before the North took the lead they enjoy right now. This is a 9-yard scamper on the quarterback keeper from Donald Allender, and then it was Darren Thompson kicking in the 2-point conversion, which you'll see right here.
And that's the play I was talking about, that they've really been able to chip away at that left side. And the North, and I apologize, the South really hasn't had an adjustment for that yet. So it's going to be very interesting to see what Coach Marino and his staff put together here in the second half to try to stop that, because the North is starting to have a lot of success establishing that left side of their offense, the right side of the South defense, running away from Perlino, running away from Albert Munn, like we talked about, running away from Ronnie Scholl, and they've really had a lot of success doing that. And just when you think you got them figured out, now they're back again 5 wides. So the North is doing a very, very good job of keeping the South defense on their heels and not letting them play as fast as they would like to.
Perfect weather conditions, perfect field conditions, no wind, no rain, and we'll take a look at our stats from the first half of play. Pretty even across the board. The South All-Stars have an edge in the rushing game, 152 yards to 120. You see the total yards, 242 for the South, 184 for the North. First downs almost 2-1 in favor of the North. And the penalties, well, they've been few and far between, but costly at times.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we go back to that North first drive. But I'll tell you what, too, about the North. They had that long 8-minute drive where they were able to grind down the South defense a little bit, and that's really swung the momentum because, again, you saw the quick strike ability of the South offense, and by then able to establish and, basically elongate the game, they've really done a good job of keeping them off balance all night so far.
All right, second half action coming up from Tonawanda High School as the North continues to battle the South, and they bring a 3-point lead into the second half, too, as coverage of the 41st Kensington Lions Club All-Star Classic continues next on Time Warner Cable Sports Channel. So hot. High blood pressure. Can it kill me? No, just what's He's wearing a predominantly green shirt. Yeah. Out of breath. Seesaw battle continues as we head to the second half with the North All-Stars in blue, leading the South High School All-Stars by a score of 15-12. Here at Tonawanda High School. Let's go down to the field right now. Amy Otterbergs.
Thanks, Dave. Coach, your team came out and played really tough and gritty in that first half. It's no secret that they came to win today. What was your message in the locker room at halftime?
Well, I told them that, you have to keep the pressure on. You have to take care of the football, and you have to recognize that, we saw at the last play of the half that those guys are capable of breaking a big one at any moment. Their second touchdown, and we scored to get ahead, and one play. and they're back on top. So you've really got to be conscious of every single play and recognize the amount of speed and talent that's across the football from you.
And did you ever envision that your 2 touchdowns would be your quarterbacks, both different guys running it in the end zone, and that's how you were going to put points on the board?
Well, we have run some run pass options with those guys, and both of them are, besides being capable passers, they're aggressive, and they're not afraid to run the football. And when that's what the defense has given them, I'm very happy to see that they're willing to take advantage of it, and it's turned out in our favor up to this point.
But do you think the defense is going to continue to give them that in that second half, or what type of adjustments do you think maybe the South is going to make?
I think they're probably, I believe if we stay on top, they're probably going to try to get a little bit closer. We've been trying to throw the ball underneath them, so they'll probably tighten up the coverage a little bit, hoping to maybe get a second interception because they did get one. And I'm sure they'll probably try to hang a defender over the edge and just keep an eye on the quarterback coming out the back door so they can prevent the couple plays that hurt them.
All right, Coach. Well, thank you for your time. I know you want to get with your team. We got about 2 minutes left before we have an exciting second half of the game. We'll go back up to you guys.
All right, thanks, Amy. Greg Bronson, head coach of the North squad from Lockport. And there is a look at his counterpart, Rob Curran from Alden High School. More or less, Coach Curran just starting his coaching career, at least in the early stages, we'll say. And on the flip side, we mentioned that Greg Bronson is retiring from Lockport, standing room only, and boy, I had to hustle down to the field for that interview with Len Thornton, the president of the Kensington Lions Club, and it's hard to get through the crowd. Not only because there's so many people here, but because there's so many, good people here. Ran into Brian Wilson, the head coach at the Pew High School, who's been a part of this game in the past.
Yes, and I had to get through some of my players and coaches are here.
From Springville, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they all took their contingent up here. I mean, I got a text from a guy I work with, and he was like, yeah, your support section's out in droves tonight. So, they love their football down there in Griffintown. So, you should take a look at Morgan Mariacker out of Iroquois High School. His father, John Mariacker, was the first Iroquois player that played in this game back in 1983. So a father-son connection that he played in this game.
How do you know this stuff? I mean, I'm glad when I work with you, when I see the assignment schedule, I'm really glad to see your name next to mine as my broadcast partner, because you just know all this random stuff.
I do my best to try to. No, I got a lot of people that tell me good information, so
you work hard and you're good at your craft.
I'm lucky to have good people reach out and take care of me and give me information on stuff. So
you're welcome.
Is that why you're happy to see my name on the broadcast schedule? So hey, there's Hayden Holmes. I coached him back when Hayden was in 8th grade and 9th grade when I was back at North Tonawanda. What a great kid, great family. Very disruptive. He played left guard for us when we were running our no huddle spread offense on modified, which is pretty ridiculous. There's Matty Palma, Scott Pilkey. There's the ECC coach, talking to some of his guys. Tim Delaney there in the background. Bernie Oslin's on the bench there with the glasses. Dave Hersey standing behind him. Justin Hersey, Dave Hersey's son.
I even saw Bryce Hopkins, one of the special teams coaches under Rich Robbins over at Canisius High School.
Yep. Timmy Delaney, he has a book out now. He's got a book out now, and I haven't read it yet. I think I have every football book.
That was very anticlimactic of you.
There's Robbie Curran and Brian Stolt. I think I got to tell you, I have like every football book I think they've ever made in my library in my basement. I love reading football books and collecting football books, and I don't have his book yet. The All the Connection you just saw: Rob Curran, Brian Stolt, Joey Guerin. He's got bright yellow shoes on today. I think he's winning the shoe game by far. Joey's a great guy, a lot of fun, and
see Brandon Metz there from St. Francis High School. To remind you that Time Warner Cable Sports Channel brings you coverage of Buffalo Bisons baseball. I can't think of a better way to spend a summer day than down at Coca-Cola Field. But if you can't, pull up a chair. You got the best seat in the house right here on Time Warner Cable Sports Channel. Coming up, it's Syracuse at Buffalo, Saturday, July 30th at 7 p.m. And then the following day on Sunday, a 1 o'clock in the afternoon matinee.
Hoping our Bisons break out. They're on an 8-game losing streak, longest since 2003, and that's pretty unfortunate. I did Star Wars night the other night, and what a great time. Well, it's a good time. And I'll tell you what, it was a blast there. And no, I didn't get a lightsaber. I had a funny story I had for that game. A mom came up to, she was like, all right, well, let's go take you to get one of those swords. And I just wanted to look at her and be like, man, please get a clue. I believe they're called lightsabers.
Under the lights here at Tonawanda High School. The kickoff to the North All-Stars is fielded, taken out to the 20, and brought down at the 22-yard line. That's where the North All-Stars will bring their offense out onto the field as we start the second half with North leading by 3, 15-12.
And I was incorrect as we look at Daquan Hubbard going to Brockport, play for Jason Mangoni, who was a Lancaster product and is the head coach at Brockport. I was mistaken because I think of these are the heat, humidity, all the people here that I've been trying to talk to. I was mistaken that the North was receiving the second half kickoff. That was my fault. And it'll be Donald Allender at quarterback, and they're going to come out in that two-back look again. And
yeah, South lost the coin toss, but North deferred in the first half, so the South All-Stars had the ball to open the game, turned it over on the fumble, and we've got a big run here. One man to beat, 40, 35, 30, 20, and he's going to jump into the end zone. That is Thompson.
well, that's that same play that we talked about, and he was able to cut it back. Now, the deal with zone blocking is everybody kind of blocks to their zone to the left. They don't block a particular man. They can combo it. And on that one, it allows you to give good cutback lanes. And you're basically reading the flow of the linebackers. And he cut back behind it. And you could see that the South was definitely selling out for that. I would like to see, I'd like to see him maybe flip their strength to that. I'd like to see him maybe put Marcus Ford over to the side of the offset fullback. But you know, I mean, backside linebacker, you have to key that back foot, that back, and just a little bit of over pursuit. And when you got a good player, all right, like Thompson, you know, right back there. And the North has defiantly silenced the South, I think.
22 and the South 12.
And one play, 78 yards. And I mean, a great job by that offensive line for the North squad, but as we take a look at the replay there, just you see just a little bit of an over pursuit, and that little bit of a crease is all a good player like Thompson needs. And he was able to take it to the house, so not exactly. Here's the best part about being a coach. When you go out there on the first play of the second half and you score a touchdown, it makes you look smart. And your parents and your booster club think you're a genius.
Well, especially when you win the coin toss and defer. Let's go downstairs. Amy Audbert's got a special guest.
Yeah, Darren, I was watching your quick feet, but what did you see out on the field on that return?
Only thing I felt my blockers, but they gave me a good blocking scheme. Then I started opening it. I just took it all the way to the house.
And I don't know if you heard, but the biggest supporter on that sideline screaming was Canisius coach Rich Robbins, and you're a St. Joe's guy. How do you feel about that? Your rivals watch you go, and he was cheering you on the whole way. I think he even got off the ground and jumped a little bit.
That's my man, man. I'm really cool with him, so I don't ever care to cheer for him, but you know, we're really cool. So yeah.
All right, well, good job, and get back into that game. All right, thanks for your time. We'll go back into you guys.
It's his man's.
That is just a great observation, first of all, on Amy Audbert's part, to see Canisius head coach Rich Robbins cheering for a St. Joe's guy on a long run like Darren Thompson. And, yeah, that's his man.
I talked to Rich before the game a little bit. He's like, you know, the last 2 years I've been doing this game, and I just feel like that excitement and that I miss it, you know. So I would imagine I'd see Rich Robbins back in this game sooner than later. Brandon Metz on the return there, going to Waterloo, Canada. And the St. Francis product there. Tyree Brown.
Metz is actually Canadian, as was, well, his predecessor at St. Francis.
Akeel Lynch.
Akeel Lynch. Talking to Rich Robbins a little bit about Quadri Olison. He's expected to be the feature back at the University of Pittsburgh this year after redshirting his first year. He's only a sophomore. Doesn't it seem like he's been up in college longer than 2 years?
Great player.
Nice run up the middle here, out to midfield and beyond. Well, he's going to be stopped right there, but a big gain of 20 on 1st and 10. So they'll move the ball and the chains to midfield and the 50-yard line.
I'll get to this adjustment in a second, but I just wanted to finish up on the point. Quadri Olson, what a great kid, great family. His father, Wayne, very involved with the Niagara Falls Little League program. Just an outstanding family. I wish him the best of luck and best of success to him and his family. Here's the adjustment.
High snap, handoff to the left side, and a gain of 6 on 1st and 10.
Well, it looks like the South has kind of opened it up a little bit more, and they ran 2 quarterback ISOs with Tyree Brown, which again, like we said, we haven't seen that ability very much. Chris Liberatoria on the last jet sweep there got 6 yards. We haven't really seen Tyree Brown use his legs yet. I mean, we obviously saw the bombs that he threw today. Goodness gracious. But he's just such a dynamic athlete. I mean, he's a sub 4.5 40 kid and a legit sub 4.5 40 kid.
Brown keeps it, 1st down yardage, and more, much more, down to the 20-yard line.
So basically what he has done is he has taken his scheme that he was running in the 2-back set, and he's just running it without a quarterback. He's basically running this like it's a Wildcat offense, okay, because he just ran his little kick-out play, but Tyree Brown just following it, and then he's just following his blocker in there. But now you have to defend the 4 wide receivers on the field. Okay, you still have to defend the 8 gaps in front of you, really 6 if you kind of count the spread and alley rules. And now you're just letting your athlete find a crease and run. Basically telling the North, hey, anything you can do, I can do maybe better, too, as well. Now they're in a trip set here.
3 receivers to the left side of the line of scrimmage. They'll roll to the far side. And again, he hangs on. A decent run there from Tyree Brown. We talked about his scrambling ability, and he has showed that here today. Out of South Park High School, and played for head coach Tim Delaney, who is on the coaching staff for the South squad this year.
And you see Greg Bronson, and now again, it's basically become a athlete type of game. You see Tim Delaney right next to Rob Curran, so I mean, this is kind of a lot of what South Park has been known to do. Now they're going to go back to the 2-back set.
2nd down and 2.
Uh-oh.
You mishandle that snap?
Yeah, it was a little bit off there. That's going to drop Tyree Brown's rushing average to below the 100 mark. He was over 101 there, 100 yards there for a minute. And then, so now we got a 3rd down. You're definitely in 4-down territory. I mean, you could theoretically kick a field goal to make it a 1-score game. We'll see what they have to come up with here. Yeah, it was just a little bit off the side. It looked like they tried to go back to that trap play that I had talked about at halftime, judging by what the offensive linemen were doing. Hopefully.
Kind of pulling to the right.
If he wasn't, it's not very good. So hopefully
hopefully
it's a trap, and we didn't see how it ended, but it looked that way.
All right. 3rd down and 6. Brown with the handoff. Billingsley takes it to about the 15-yard line, probably 3 yards short or so of the 1st down.
If they were to kick and they got Shuttleworth, all right, that'll be a 32-yard field goal. And I think, seeing as Coach Curran is out on the numbers with his quarterback, they will be going for it.
There's no kicking in all-star games.
You see, now this is what I hate, okay? I go to him, I'm like, all right. You know, I explained to officials that I came from Lancaster High School. I played for Len Jankowitz. I'm allowed to go to the numbers and the hash marks if I want to call the plays and not get flagged for it. Coach Curran is out on the numbers calling plays, and I'm very jealous right now.
Brown back to pass, pump fakes, rolls to his left, throws to the corner of the end zone. Out of bounds. He came down with it, but he did so out of bounds.
Oh, it was close, too. We'll have to take a look at that replay here. The North did a very good job of keeping Brown contained. And let's see here.
Metz makes a nice grab, but he just can't come in with it.
Yeah, just hit the ground there. Excellent camera work from Don Mahar over the end zone there. And we'll see it right here. He got that foot down.
No.
Just couldn't rail it.
Oh, so close.
Oh, if he had the possession. I mean, I don't understand why it's so difficult, but to me it didn't look like a catch. But, man, that was so close. What a great ball that Brown threw. And for Metz to almost haul that one in.
That's the featured running back for longtime head coach Jerry Smith over at St. Francis High School, and their beautiful new facility. You been over there yet? It's gorgeous.
I've not been over there. My quarterback was over there the other day checking it out, though.
Very nice.
He's
long overdue.
Yeah,
for the athletes they produced on that old grass field that would flood, you'd play in knee-deep mud. I mean, it was long overdue, and they did a very nice job with that about $5 million renovation.
Oh man, I'll tell you, just what a gorgeous complex. And I mean, when you saw St. Joe's was the first, and then followed by Canisius right after it, naturally, and then St. Francis like, hey, you know, it's our turn too. And now Timon's got, they just built that new field in South Buffalo. How about Timon's schedule this year, Dave? You know.
Hand off to the left side of the line of scrimmage, first down yardage and more for Darren Thompson. He continues to put up some pretty impressive numbers today.
Adjustment-wise, yes, they did put Marcus Ford over to the offset fullback, so you know that was one of the things I was like, well, maybe could they put him over there, and they're just still gashing him with really one play.
You know what amazes me about Bishop Timon, since you brought it up, as you look at Ronnie Schull here, is the fact that I think the entire student population at Timon is around maybe 300-400 students. And most of them are outstanding athletes.
So they're going to open up their schedule at Buford, Georgia, who is a 5A state finalist in the state of Georgia.
Yep.
Then they're going to go to Central Catholic in Ohio, who beat Lancaster 76-7 last year. They were on ESPN. Now, and then they're going to go to Odessa Permian, which is the Friday Night Lights team, the book, and that, you know, they're going to go play at Ratliff Stadium and Mojo Magic and all that stuff. They're going to go down there and play them.
Long pass here. Finish that thought in a moment. Connection. And down to the 20-yard line. Justin Jones hauls in another. First down north.
Beautiful throw. And they hit that earlier in the game, but
they hit it for a 70-yard touchdown strike. This time, he's brought down at the 20.
And 48-yard pass. What a beautiful throw. Pumps off the safety. And let guys get behind him in coverage there, so. Beautiful throw.
Yeah, Justin Jones has such good hands, too.
Oh, fantastic athlete.
All Western New York players, 6'3", 200 pounds. Headed off to Robert Morris College. Hand off to Thompson, left side, down to the 10. Inside the 5, and a late flag along the sidelines. Thompson may be shaken up, too.
He might be. He took a huge hit. He was the player that took the huge hit earlier in the game for Marcus Ford.
Austin Neal with the tackle for the South.
He's down, and hopefully, judging by the fact that he's being stretched out, it's a cramp. It is a muggy, not overly humid, but a slightly muggy night here. It's not as warm out as it was earlier, but it's not,
Don't forget, at the end of our game,
you know, exactly chilly either.
Take a look at what happens at the end of this run from Thompson. Boy, that's a helmet to helmet.
Yeah, fairly innocent, though, as far as the legs go. It looks like that seemed to be the issue here, but it did look like that they kind of knocked heads in there just a little bit. That was, it looked like Miller got in there, Anthony Miller from Cassadaga Valley. He's still down, and it looks like they're still kind of tending to that leg.
Yeah, that's Darren Thompson, 5'11", 180 out of St. Joe's, played for Dennis Gilbert, and he's going to go on play for Jerry Boyce at Buffalo State College.
15.
See the holding penalty.
15 carries, 169 yards so far in this game. He's having a heck of a night.
Well, you talk about some new facilities like we were talking about over in Athol Springs with St. Francis High School. How about what they've done over at Buffalo State?
Yeah.
Love the new press box.
Gorgeous. I haven't seen that one just yet. I've seen the inside of their weight room and everything they've done there.
Putting lights up in the spring, too, from what I understand.
Sweet Home, yes. Sweet Home's got a new facility, too. We talked about the Williamsville ones a little bit earlier. Clarence is getting a brand new facility, everything. They put up a new scoreboard. It looks gorgeous. New bleachers. You know, just great. You take a look at the Thomas coming off the field there and having some discussions with the trainer. So
appears to be okay, perhaps a cramp. Inside 8 minutes to go, third quarter. Long pass play will set up the North offense with good field position, 1st and 10 from the South 20. Stranahan rolls to his right, has a man, and it was blocked at the line of scrimmage. Good defensive play.
Yeah, A.J. Perlino, it looked like, or I apologize, it wasn't Perlino. I just saw the 9 on the back of there. It was Kason Hill from St. Mary's High School. Played for Nick Todaro last year, and Nick was the defense coordinator at South Park for some time. He is now the defense coordinator at Hutch Tech. Big Ed coming off the edge here and was able to get his hands up in the passing lane.
Very nicely done with the left hand.
And knocked that one down, so 2nd down and 9 here. And they're going to go back to that empty set.
Empty backfield, but a man goes in motion. Stranahan's going to keep it, goes to his left, picks up a couple, but he's forced out of bounds, leaving a 3rd down and 5 for the North offense.
And it looked like that it was Kason Hill again. But, I mean, this is a crucial situation. Now, there's still a lot of time on the clock, but you really don't want to start falling behind here if you're the South. You know, right now you got it at a 2-score game, another touchdown, and all of a sudden you're, you know, touchdown extra point is now a 3-score game. So you want to definitely keep things within reach here.
North had a 15-12 lead at halftime. They made it 22-12, only 27 seconds into the 3rd quarter. We now have 7:39 to go in quarter 3. Stranahan back to pass, feels some pressure, flushed all the way back to the 35, jumps up to the 30, completes a pass at the 15. That is the original line of scrimmage, and that means 4th down and 5.
Well, you can see those linebackers, they were flying up trying to go get him, and that was Ronnie Scholl from Orchard Park leading the way. Pat Orsini on the reception. And Henry Gunner, also Iroquois High School product. Stranahan just kind of dumped that one off, and Orsini made the play, but he's going to actually lose a yard on the play, so it'll be a 4th down and 6 here. And you got to be careful of Stranahan running. You know, you see the athleticism he has.
Stranahan on the shotgun, 3 wideouts to the left, goes back, the pass has time. Pocket collapses, fades to his right, turns back, trying to make something happen with his legs. They're going to get a flag there.
He's going to be short anyway, but yeah, there was definitely a block in the back.
Yeah, he's short of the 1st down. That was a 4th down and 5 play. So they're short of the 1st down. There's a flag on the play, and we'll go down to the field and Amy Audibert.
Thanks. I'm here with Erie Community College head coach Scott Pilkey, who is bringing in confirmed 12. We thought it was 9. It is 12 players playing today. Coach, 2nd year as a head coach now. What is so attractive about recruiting in Western New York, besides being a local?
Well, Western New York is the most untapped recruiting region in the country, and we've decided to, at Erie Community College, you know, we're going to make our bones on Western New York players. We really feel that the academic side is very, very advantageous for us. You know, we're a top 50 2-year program in the country, part of the SUNY system, so we have 5 engineering programs, things of that nature that no other 2-year school can offer, and nobody has our backyard. Western New York, we offer, I believe, a great Division II environment. We're allowed to have full 15 practices during spring. That the only other team in the Western New York area gets to do that is the University of Buffalo. So recruiting is great here. Under-recruited guys that we don't play as many high school games as a lot of the other states do, like Pennsylvania and Ohio, but you immerse those guys in a Division I environment to the best that we can do it, and you find that these guys blossom. So that's what we really love about Western New York.
And I've been watching you all night from sideline to sideline, smiling ear to ear because of the talent that they're wearing your jersey probably in a couple weeks, actually.
We're actually starting Monday.
Starting Monday. Specifically, what are you bringing into your program that you're seeing not only through recruiting these guys, but you're seeing tonight?
First of all, it's character and high academics from Western New York. We've got them from some of the best academic schools in Western New York, some of the best kids from the city of Buffalo, South Towns, North Towns. Our coaches do a great job. Most of our coaches are part-time guys, but we have 11 coaches on staff, 12 including myself, but they're all teachers. They're all, masters of education and just great mentors all around. So we try to offer a nice cross-section of everybody. So.
And I know you head coaches, you're always thinking and always watching the game and never really taking too much of a break. Sean Russo, our analyst, is doing a great job.
Yeah.
What is your analysis on this game so far?
I think it's a perfect idea of when you give your athletes the ability, just give them the football and let them make plays, and you see the big guys up front establishing the line and getting to the second level. You're gonna make the big plays, and that's what you're seeing here tonight. Is a great display of our speed, of our athleticism, things that no other college in the country has taken a look at, and I don't want them to. So I hope nobody's watching. We like that for ourselves and the other colleges in the region. But I think this game comes down to just high character kids. They're from everywhere, but you see them. I was just on the other side. One of the players on the south, got a little banged up, who's a great player, Western New York, and the guys that were on the other side were asking about him and, just how's he doing? And so that's what's really special about Section 6. These guys, it's almost a brotherhood around here.
And I hate to put you on the spot, but I'm going to do it. North or South? Don't look at the scoreboard who's winning this game.
I'm played at Williamsville North, so I'm a North Towns guy. But I love the South Towns too. So if the North happens to win by scoring more points than the South, well then North wins and South loses. Now if South scores more, then South wins. So either way, I think I'm okay with that.
Coach,
answer.
you must have some media training. That's very politically correct. Thank you for your time,
Thank you
and best
very
of luck.
much.
And I know everyone in Western New York is going to be tuned into your program. Thank you for coming.
Appreciate your time. Thank you.
Back to you guys.
The South has run a number of plays since taking over on downs. They've moved the ball out to their own 30-yard line, and that long pass falls just incomplete, intended for number 1, David Thomas. And you'll get a look at it here with inside 5 minutes to go as the North hangs on to their 22-12 lead. Erie Community College, their slogan, start here, go anywhere. Definitely very meaningful in Western New York. Nice to hear from the ECC head coach.
Yeah, definitely, and we're excited, as Western New York coaches, what he's doing, because, really, if you look at the talent pool you can draw from, not just this backyard that Coach Pilkey alluded to, but as far as community colleges playing football, really the closest one is Lackawanna in the middle of Pennsylvania. But you can rope off.
Flag on the play there, Sean. Go ahead.
On the far side, you can rope off basically from Syracuse down to Cleveland through Pittsburgh. So think about the arc you're going to draw there, and you can basically, that's all you. So think about what you're drawing from. You're drawing from the city of Rochester. You're drawing from the greater Syracuse region. This backyard, as he does say, is one of the most under-recruited areas. I mean, there's a lot of problems I have with New York State, and there's a lot of things that New York State doesn't do to offer up things for football. New York State is the 42nd ranked state for handing out scholarships to football players in the country based off last year's statistics. And I'm not talking about Alabama or Florida or Texas. Ohio's number 8. Pennsylvania's number 17. They're right there. And New York State's 42nd? Our state level needs to look at it and say, well, what are we doing? And do we have spring football here? No. Can't do spring football. All right. What about camps? It's kind of the wild west
far
from that.
Between,
yeah. ECC has a great team camp, but it's kind of the wild west. This area is doing really good, but I don't know what's going on downstate. But the fact that the state right below you, all right, there's other things that they do and they have built into their culture. I'd love to have AP football. They got AP everything else. You get credit to go band and chorus. I'd love to be able to have my athletes in there watching film in third period. And I mean, there's just things like that happen.
Pass aired out, wide open, and he's got it. Down to the 20, 10, touchdown South.
And that's a play, Dave, where basically you saw Tyree Brown extend it with his legs and athleticism. What a great play to keep his eyes downfield. It hit Liberatore, so hey, the South isn't going to go quietly. I'm going to tell you right now, there's still a lot of football left. But anyway, to surmise my point, Coach Pilkey has the ability here with those tools and with those advantages he has over other
things going on in the state to really build a powerhouse at ECC, and I think he's done a great job setting that foundation to do that. And that was a 72-yard pass, and I need a sip of water. They're going to go for 2 here.
The point difference is 4.
Bold strategy, Cott. But it looks like we're going to have a flag here, and I think the South broke the huddle with 12 guys. I guess got mixed up with what personnel grouping they had. So they're going to try this attempt from the 8-yard line. Well, we talked a lot about the defense and the athleticism on both sides in the defense of this game, and it's turned into an offensive shootout a little bit here. Big play, big play, big play. That's the 3rd touchdown of the game today, Dave, that has been over 70 yards. Oh, hang on, I'm sorry.
Well, no, you're right. David Thomas had a 70-yard reception from Tyree Brown, a 78-yard touchdown, Darren Thompson, and now 72 yards for Chris Liberatore.
Yeah, that's the 3rd touchdown that's been over 70 yards in the game. Think about that. That's pretty crazy. They are going to bring the PAT unit out here.
They'll go for 1. After taking the penalty, they'll try to make it a 3-point game. Kick is up.
No good.
No good.
Shuttleworth to the left. So we'll take a look at this replay here, Dave, and I'll tell you what, I mean, again, this is just Tyree Brown on a crucial 3rd down, extending the play with his legs.
Yep.
Keeps his eyes downfield, and look at that throw on the run. I mean, that's a big-time throw. All right, that's not a run-of-the-mill high school quarterback throw. That's a big-time play.
Got to have a strong arm to pull that off, and he did. The catch made by number 5, Chris Liberatore, who dances into the end zone out of Orchard Park High School, where he's played for longtime head coach Gene Tundo. There is Liberatore, headed to Mercyhurst College in Erie, Pennsylvania.
Gene Tundo, yep. Probably one of the, I'd love to pull his 3 sports together between lacrosse and wrestling. He's got to be one of the all-time winningest coaches in Western New York history, because he's got...
Yeah, he's won a few games.
Maybe. And wrestling, too. I mean, he's one of the all-time winningest wrestling coaches in Western New York. I mean, he gave that up years ago, but my goodness. You know, and now he's doing track and winning track beats. I'd love to compile his career record and see what it is. He's a heck of a coach.
His sons are pretty darn good high school athletes, too.
Yep. Gene's a good friend. He's a good man.
Kickoff is away, taken at the 1-yard line, out to the 10, 20, past the 30, and brought down at the 34-yard line. A good return for Jaquan Hudson out of Niagara Falls High School.
Very nice open field tackle from Kason Hill again. He's had himself a nice little second half here, and him and Perlino on that kickoff team. You know, it's kind of cool. I mean, you see some of these guys out here on special teams that you don't necessarily see. As you see Hudson here, Niagara Falls product. And again, they had a very good year there. They won a playoff game. They beat Jamestown in a playoff game. And, you know, that's something that, again, the North really hasn't been able to get by the South. I know the South was a little bit down last year. I mean, even Lancaster, I mean, they averaged giving up over 30 points a game. I mean, they weren't really at their best. I mean, they were very offensive oriented. You know, Clarence was kind of down a little bit last year. As you see Allender breaking up.
From Allender, yeah, past midfield. He's going to be forced out. But inside South territory, I do believe. Well, maybe not. Right around the 50-yard line, but he does get enough for a first down.
You saw some of those AA North teams last year emerge a little bit, you know. I'm sorry, I still keep Clarence synonymous with AA South. They were AA North last year. But, you know, you saw Lockport, you know, basically give Lancaster everything they could handle. Lancaster basically outscored them. I mean, Lancaster's defense could not stop Lockport in that game. They almost knocked them off. Kenmore West got to the stadium for the first time in 20 years.
Yep.
You know, so the North had a very solid year last year. We hope they can maintain it. But I will say the South this year looks very strong. Even though Niagara Falls was one of those teams that kind of just found its way up there.
Allender swings it out at midfield. Brought down after a gain of 1. It'll bring up 2nd down and 9. The catch made by Angelo Marzullo.
Alex Damiani, a part of that Lancaster team. One of the leading targets for Danny Spire as a receiver. And very good player.
Speaking as objectively as you possibly can, because I know your affiliation with Springville High School. But who are some of the teams to watch, maybe even dark horses this year in high school football as the 2016 season approaches?
Double A, I got to look at, really there's 3 or 4 teams I think that could really contend for it. I'm looking at Lancaster and Orchard Park being right at the top. Lancaster's going to have a very good team. I think their defense is going to be much improved this year. They got some young players that are kind of infused up through the system. Their quarterback play, which would be the quarterback from the South, Danny Sputter's brother Noah, possibly competing for that job. And Orchard Park, who has Dylan Janka back, and Josh Dahl, who's a very, very special athlete, some very good players. That's going to be a great game. I've already cleared my schedule. I'm going to be at that one. Luckily, we don't play. We can go to that one. Williamsville North's going to be very good this year. Casey Kelly's back. They have Jason Wang, Duke Wang's little brother, and Andrew Wang too. Great players, good athletes down there. Again, like I was talking about earlier in the broadcast, Mike Bambolidi has done a great job of injecting some life into that Will North program.
Yeah,
and
he
now,
definitely has.
They're a section contender now, year in and year out. They kind of flew onto the scene when they beat Sweet Home, but they've continued that success after graduating those players.
What was that Sweet Home winning streak at when they went down to the Ralph? About 62 games or something?
I think it was longer than that. Yeah. I think it was 68 games.
Yeah.
I mean, which is pretty incredible.
Hand off to the right side of the line of scrimmage. They'll get down to the 40, 35, 30. He's got some run down the sideline. Does a nice job to tightrope, but he's pushed out. They're going to mark it at the 17-yard line.
If I look at Class A, South Park would be right there too. West Seneca East, they graduate quite a bit, but they got a couple nice players. They got really good offensive linemen back. Their quarterback is back. They're going to have a really nice team. Iroquois should be pretty good as far as the South goes. I'm really looking at South Park possibly to be right in that be right in that swing of things. Looking at A North, Star Point's going to be pretty good. I think they return quite a bit. They return their quarterback from last year. They lose some good players, but they got their entire backfield back. They lose a little bit on the line up front. Williamsville South will be resurrected. My good buddy Rick Tom will be coaching the defense there.
Hey, we saw Ivory from our crew. He literally got run over on the sidelines, but he's a trooper.
I missed that. I just started injecting that. North Tonawanda should be pretty good this year. They have good athletes, good pieces.
Here's Allender rolling out again. Pass caught at the 5 and promptly brought down, but it's going to be a first down and goal. Yeah, those good old Lumberjacks at North Tonawanda always seem to be in the conversation.
I hope they do. I had all those kids when they were modified. I'd like to see them do it. I don't know. That's a tough division to win in.
One team you didn't mention as we look at Jake Nyland on the receiving end of that catch. He is out of Grand Island High School, and head coach Dean Santorio out there. Talk about nice new fields.
Yeah.
We did a game late last season here on Time Warner Cable Sports Channel from Grand Island. That's impressive. But one team that I think you didn't mention that stood out to me is Alden.
I haven't gotten to the Bees yet, yeah. And Bennett, you got Bennett's in Class A South too. They'll be in the mix too, obviously, with Isaiah McDuffie at running back. In the Class Bs, Alden graduates an awful lot.
Yeah, well, what's McDuffie now? Just a junior, I think.
No, he's going to be a senior,
yeah.
Yeah, he's uncommitted from Syracuse, and he's going to go to Boston.
Redirection, and he's sacked for a loss of 4 on the play.
If I'm looking at the Bees, I got to think Chief DeWong is the on paper favorite, and I know a little bit about B. But yeah, Cheektowaga, they're on paper. They got a transfer in from Williamsville North, who's a tremendous running back to replace Billingsley. They got their quarterback, Eric Bartnick, back. They got Stephon Parker, wide receiver back, who looks like he's grown 3 inches from last year, and I'm having nightmares trying to figure out how to stop them here.
Allender's been impressive here today, not to interrupt you, but this time he is sacked behind the line of scrimmage, and a good tackle there from number 19, Kaysen Hill from St. Mary's.
And again, we've called his name several times here in the quarter. I think Burgard's going to be really good. In our division in the South, I think Medina might be the dark horse in B. They got a lot of good players, some nice players back. I think the dark horse in B is them. Alden graduates an awful lot, but they got some good players, and Brian Spolsky is back at quarterback, Christian Snell, Jarrett Miner, whose brother Leighton is in this game.
Toss to the
touchdown.
End zone, touchdown North. And look who it is. The guy who was injured a little bit earlier, Darren Thompson, makes his return to the field and catches 1 for 6.
Oh, and then us in East Aurora, but we'll get to that much later. You know, again, you can see that, you know, the North is just doing a very nice job of calling plays. I mean, they're setting things up, they're getting things open, and, you know, you got to be very impressed with father and son putting together this offensive attack here. So they're going to come out here and kick the extra point. Joe Armenia, Sweet Home product.
I think to this point in the game, Sean Brusso, Darren Thompson might be my MVP selection.
Yeah,
Justin Jones, you can make an argument for.
Yeah, Thompson, I mean, for North MVP, I mean, he's really done such a great job. I'd maybe be saving for the South Tyree Brown at this point, but we still got a whole other quarter of football. We're just gearing up here. I mean, we are not at a lull by any stretch. We're just gearing up. And very nice throw from Allender. Very easy throw. Leads him perfect. Drops it right in there. And he's been very, very nice. So
some of the numbers on Allender, he is a big guy, as you can see. Well, 6'4", 210 pounds. From, do I dare say, little-known Lew-Ports. We don't hear much out of Lewiston Porter, but he has definitely helped put that football program on the map, along with his head coach, Jonathan Hoover.
They were beating Cheektowaga at halftime last year, and I remember like hearing about that because we were playing Depew, and we were going to play the winner of that game had we held on to beat Depew, and it was like, okay, you know, we actually tried to integrate some of the elements that Lew-Port were doing to just try to slow Cheektowaga down a little bit. We did for a little bit. We just didn't get the lead to basically change their way of thinking in offensive play calling. But, you know, they had some good things going up there. You know, they've been a participant in the B playoffs over the last couple years. It seems like the winner between them and Maryville are the ones that extra team that gets in from that B West division, which is a loaded division with Cheektowaga and Burgard right in it. You know, B football is fun. B football is a lot of fun. It's a very unique thing, especially when you're coming down to our division in the South. You know, it's a very unique place to be.
Good look at Brandon Metz out of St. Francis High School, a Red Raider under longtime head coach and personal friend Jerry Smith, who couldn't be here today because of a different obligation, enjoying some time down in Florida, from what I understand.
Came from across the field and hit him.
Pass in the flat, picked up at the 30-yard line, but quickly closing. He breaks one tackle out to midfield. And again, talk about making something out of nothing. That is David Thomas. Oh no, I'm sorry, Billingsley.
Yeah, he's pretty good. You know, he's an exceptional athlete. You know, they were able to use him in different situations out of the backfield, throwing him the ball, running the ball. You know, he had a very nice little season for Cheektowaga last year, and you know, they tried to set up a little screenplay here on the boot, and you know, I mean, just look at the athleticism and the strength. You know,
broke the tackle opportunity there at number 21. Dion Woods out of Kenmore East had him, or at least he thought he had him wrapped up. Likely the final play of the third quarter. A pass downfield, and it falls incomplete, but I think we're going to have an interference penalty as the third quarter comes to a close. A good look there at number 5, Chris Liberatore.
We're going to see here, we pass interference.
Defensive interference.
I think they play an untimed down here. They will play an untimed down here. Mr. What? Yeah. Paul Trespitsky up here working the score clock, who is
giving his jabs to you, my partner Sean Brusso.
Knows more about the game of football than I will ever know. So I defaulted to him on that call. But yes, we'll have one untimed down here to end the third quarter. Like the play call right at the end of the third quarter from Coach Curran. He didn't tell me about that when I asked him. I said, "We got any gadgets up your sleeve? You know, we got something that I don't know that you have in there." And yeah, jet pass, nice little trick play. So the ball will be spotted at the 32-yard line, the left middle hash. Chris Liberatore there at Orchard Park. Almost came up with that catch. He had a very nice season. Orchard Park had just some freak athletes. They were just like 2 or 3 deep at every position last year. Very good team, and ended up losing to Aquinas out in Rochester in the state Far West Regional. Oh,
Handoff up the middle, stuffed for a 2-yard loss. So after that untimed down, Torrey Rogers with the big hit and the stop on that play. We'll take a break and be back with fourth quarter action next. Don't touch that dial. We got another dandy as the 41st version of the Kensington Lions Club All-Star Game continues from Tonawanda next on Time Warner Cable Sports Channel. As we head to the fourth quarter, it is the Western New York North All-Stars leading the Western New York South High School All-Stars by a score of 29-18. Back here at Tonawanda High School in this beautiful new field, the lights are on. To my right, Sean Brusso. Down in the field, Amy Audibert. In the truck, our producer and director, Rick Carneth, and the entire Time Warner Cable Sports Channel crew. My name is David Miller. First snap of the fourth quarter, and they'll air it out to the 30-yard line, down to the 25, and now brought down around the 22-yard line. Should be good for a first down, or pretty darn close.
nice little easy throw. Tyron Lawson, another Cheektowaga product.
31.
And see where it will be spotted here. It'll be a first down.
Look at Jacob Grant from Depew. He plays under head coach Brian Wilson, who is in the house today. So many head coaches, so many football dignitaries, period, in the house here today. Love covering this game with you, partner. Look forward to it every year. Another great game on tap. It is going to be a first down for the South. Put the candy bar down.
Caught me.
Tonawanda High School cheerleaders handing out candy bars earlier today.
Got him.
Pass to the end zone. Touchdown! Brandon Metz from St. Francis High School comes down with it. Boy, he came down with one earlier and was so close to being inbounds, ruled out of bounds, and this one, no question about it, the officials right on top of the play, and this seesaw battle continues.
What a beautiful throw. I mean, that's when you talk about those touch passes, right? Leading the receiver. I mean, he put that one beautifully in stride, just like Coach Wild taught him. Now they're going to go for two, make it a 3-point game. We'll see what they come up with here.
Yes,
And
let's go.
worked out of this formation a little bit here. They like to try a little boot out play, little sprint play here.
Roll out, quick toss to the end zone at the goal line. So it is now a 3-point game. How about that?
Well, they ran the tight alignment on that formation there, and that's the formation they tried on the first 2-point play, and they threw the flag on it, but that time he was off the ball. And we'll take a look at the replay. What a beautiful throw. And again, the South has some life. I mean, this is shaped up to be a very entertaining game. This is what the All-Star Game's supposed to be, offense back and forth, and great players making great plays.
Look there at Jack Myers from West Seneca West.
Just
nice quick pass.
Just a smash concept, a high-low, and just beautiful throw from Danny Spire. Again, quarterback the offense that set 10 school records for Lancaster last year.
Brandon Metz from north of the border, Canadian, going to St. Francis High School. Headed back north of the border now that he has graduated. And that's a close call there, wasn't it? Closer than I thought.
Nose of the ball broke the plane. It's what matters.
Yep.
So the South will kick off.
The North had a 3-point lead at halftime. Took them only 27 seconds to throw a 78-yard touchdown strike to Darren Thompson to start the third quarter. And now 66 seconds into the fourth quarter, another quick strike, this time to Brandon Metz from St. Francis. 2-point conversion good. And we're back to a 3-point game. Taken at the 20.
Ball's on the ground.
25. Ball is on the ground. South says they got it. They'll peel back the pile. And I think it's going to stay North ball.
Yep.
It was recovered by the North and Austin Wilson.
So it'll be Tyler Stranahan's turn.
Austin Wilson out of Sweet Home High School, where he's played for, dare I say, legendary head coach and longtime head coach John Fowler. Think high school football in Western New York, and John Fowler's name immediately pops into your head, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Gene Tundo, Jerry Smith.
We talk about those Mount Rushmore of coaches, you know. I mean, those guys that have been around since the mid-'80s and are still doing it and are still successful. I was not born. I wasn't born until
I don't even want to know.
1996.
Jeez.
Just kidding about that.
You don't want to know what I was doing in 96. Hand off to the left side, out to the 32-yard line. Hog-tied and thrown down was Angelo Marzullo from Clarence.
Marcus Ford, who's had a very nice game for the South defense, had that pick earlier in the game. He's got to have a pretty significant number of tackles. He's in on a lot of plays. Hey, speaking in and on a lot of plays, who's this, Miller?
Unbelievable. Yeah, I signed an autograph for him earlier.
I played football for him. That's Coach Len Jankowitz on the sidelines there. And
talking about Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, I mean, how about that guy? You know, got his start as the head coach of Lancaster in 1986 and held that position all the way to 2011.
Talk more about Coach Jankowitz in a moment, as flushed out of the pocket is Stranahan.
Still on his feet.
Still on his feet. He does break a couple of tackles, straddles the right sidelines, and is forced out of bounds. You know, it's really been an honor getting to work with and get to know Len Jankowitz personally over the course of the last few years. You covered his games, you talk to him sometimes on the telephone, and maybe you're cordial, but I've really got to know the gentleman and scholar that is Len Jankowitz over the past couple of years, not to get all emotional.
Yeah,
he's a great guy.
Oh, fantastic. And I'll tell you, he just...
One of our colleagues, too.
One of our colleagues. It was kind of funny. Rob Gross, who was the head coach here at Tonawanda, he's a teacher at Lancaster, and I took his broadcasting classes when I was in high school and all that stuff. And this year, like we said, Coach Jankowitz was broadcasting our game down in Springville this year. And I remember Rob Gross saying, who would have thought that 10 years ago that Sean Brewster would be coaching a game? And then
ball is on the ground.
South has it.
I think the South does have it.
Big pile up here.
Let's see what they say. It was a nice catch by Justin Jones, but he's going to turn it over after the fumble. Boy, that's a big break in a tight game.
Looked like Morgan Mariacker came up with the fumble.
You know, I was just going to ask you, too, when does the clock become a focal point for the North when you got a 3-point lead? Probably too soon, so I don't question this call. But watch Jones. Looking for a little extra yardage. He's popped right there.
I don't really think it needs to be an issue right now because both teams are scoring at such a fast pace.
See who recovered the fumble here. You'll see the pop from behind, the ball loose. Yeah, and that's clearly Morgan Mariacker, as you mentioned, from Iroquois.
And it looked like Henry Gunner on the tackle that forced the fumble, so the Iroquois boys are
making their presence felt. Some miscommunication at the line of scrimmage. Tyree Brown does his best to get to the line of scrimmage and pick up maybe one on the play.
Nice
Second down and 9.
Yeah, very nice job on the boot there, and he kind of ran into Pat Hannon, which...
That's a big guy.
That's a really big guy.
There he is.
Pleasure to coach. What a great kid. What a great kid. Both their Springville kids are right there, him and Josh Ball on that side.
77 is a big boy.
Yes, he is. What a fantastic
kid. I didn't have to take broadcasting classes to know that.
We got his little brother, who's not so little, Mikey Hannon, coming up through, too. So, you know, we're pretty excited. Very nice family. And first team All-State player and an integral part to our success in Springville the last 2 years.
Second down from midfield, the run off the right side, and a good shoestring tackle.
Jake Kabala on the tackle there. It was Lyle Grant on the carry. He's been noticed to be kind of quiet tonight.
Yeah, kind of quiet.
And we'll see what they come up with here. 3rd down and 5.
This is Jake Kabala from Newfane, one of the few representatives from that high school, 5'8", 200 pounds, headed to Bryant and Stratton College.
4th and 5 is going to be Deuce lead.
Grant is usually so elusive. He just got tied up there.
Yeah, very, very good tackle. It is hard to take him down solely.
Brown has a man open, makes the connection, and that is a first down. The pass caught by Chris Liberatore, who's having a big second half.
Flood concept, and Liberatore was on that little outcut, and Tyree Brown threw it on time, and I mean, they had some pressure off that left edge. Jacob Grant kind of got turned a little bit here. You'll see both Grants couldn't get their hands on him, and again, he's had a very disruptive game over there. DeAndre Jenkins from Lockport, and what a great job by Tyree Brown, again, just extending and making a play.
They move the chains. It's a first down. The South All-Stars in white down by 3. And Brown's going to be tackled behind the line of scrimmage, a loss of 1 on the quarterback keeper.
Well, yeah, Torrey Rogers. I mean, they have two such great athletes on either side, and they're making it very difficult to get outside those ends. I mean, both of them are just great players, and you see Torrey Rogers right there, the Williamsville North product. So a
couple pretty good football players come out of Williamsville North, right?
Yeah.
Recent years.
Sure, yeah, very much.
One of them named Gronk.
Gronk, yeah. Last 2 years, you had the Ames, Jake Ames and Nick Ames. They're playing at UB right now. Duke Wang, who's at UB right now. I'll tell you what. I mean, Glenn Gronkowski just signed a contract with the Bills for training camp.
Sneak up the middle goes nowhere. How about that? Swarming defense from the North All-Stars.
That would be Jai Hunter out of Burgard High School. Again, he was very disruptive. We played Burgard in the first game of the season last year, and he was certainly a player, that they did everything with. They ran behind him. They pulled him. They'd put him at center. They'd put him at guard. It did not matter. They were going to run behind him.
230 pounds going to Buffalo State.
I mean, look at that quick off the ball. Squeeze it down. I mean, that's textbook technique. And I'll tell you what, they're eating up the left side of this line right now. So now we got ourselves a 3rd down in long situation here, 3rd and 13.
Big play for the South All-Stars. And again, pressure coming. Brown gets away, throws it for Billingsley. Boy, did that hang up there for a long, long time. Too long, one might say, after that pass falls incomplete. He has been a favorite target of Tyree Brown in the second half, and that is number 5, Chris Liberatore.
Yeah, I mean, that was a hard ball to throw, and
that hung up there forever, didn't it?
Yeah, this is a very interesting situation here. I mean, we'll see what Coach Kern's got up his sleeve here.
Tyvon Woods on the defense there. Oh, yeah, he did. He got his left hand in it. That's a nice defensive play.
But again, you saw the athleticism from these defensive ends.
4th down and 13. They air it out, nobody home. Oh boy. Well, that was either going to be intercepted at the 5 or turn it over on downs at the 35. I'll take the ball at the 35.
Just knock her down.
Yep, knock it down. Get yourself 30 extra yards.
Dante Mount out of Lockport High School.
One of 12 players on the field for both teams today going to Erie Community College, as we heard at halftime.
So Donnie Allender going to come back out, let another touchdown drive his last time. He's had a quietly very nice game, Allender. A very efficient passer again out of Newport High School.
Okay, now do you pay attention to the clock if you're the North offense?
I think you just got to basically be conservative and don't do anything too risque, but they really haven't done anything too risque most of the game. I mean, they've really run about 5 plays. A couple twists here and there, but really they've run about 5 different things.
There's a running play off the left side of the line of scrimmage. They can't get the edge, and he's going to be dropped for a 2-yard loss. That was number 25, Angelo Marzullo.
And Ronnie Scholl again on that side, coming from the middle of the field all the way, tracking that down for a loss. I mean, that's his forte. I mean, he's got such a athletic ability. Phenomenal lacrosse player too.
Look at that whole left side of the line of scrimmage pulling, yet the South defense able to make the play.
Yeah, Ronnie Scholl just, you know, I mean, and Perlino and Chase too from East Aurora Holland. I mean, wow.
He was forced out of bounds, so that did stop the clock with 8:31 to go, fourth quarter. Allender back at his own 25-yard line, trying to buy some time. Has a man on the near side, and they can't connect. In and out of the hands of Cordell Kane from Burgard.
That was a laser.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, think of the biomechanics of throwing that ball across your body and basically in and out of his hands. And now you got yourself a third down and long situation. But
again, you see the intended receiver is from Burgard, and boy, they have a boisterous fan base, don't they? Boy, you couldn't throw that ball any better.
No, I mean, what a beautiful, beautiful throw.
They got loud fans at Burgard.
Yes, they do.
They love their football program when we go over to All High Stadium. Greg Bronson, head coach at Lockport High School. Well, do we call him former head coach at Lockport High School?
Yeah, you have to now, yeah.
Hope he enjoys his retirement. This will be his final game. 9 years as the head coach up at Lockport, 29 years with the Lockport High School program. Allender back to pass on 3rd and long. He does a great job buying time, doesn't he? He does it again. This time out to the 40, out to the 45, and he's going to be 4 yards short of the first down.
And you can see that there was really no pass rush coming from the South. They were just sitting there at home holding the edge. They did not, and I mean did not want to rush. And Quine Davis, Henry Gunner there from Iroquois, as we see. But Davis, you can see, I mean, just...
Allender does such a good job of buying time, though, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Sees the field very, very well.
And if you watch it, look at his eyes are always downfield. His eyes are always downfield. And Perlino and Gunner got in there to make the tackle. So they're going to go for it here on 4th down.
I'm a little surprised, to be honest with you.
I think we've seen one punt all
See
night.
if they get a hard count. Allender in the shotgun, empty backfield. Tosses it out on the near side. Easy pitch and catch. And that is a first down for Cordell Kane.
Well, that's one of the things, you know, you really can't run press coverage here. So, you know, again, rules restrictions. But yeah, it's an easy throw to.
He was wide open.
Yeah, he
Kane
was.
had a big cushion, closest defender to him, and white was number 12, Justin Williams, and he was at least 5 yards downfield.
He got the ball there in a hurry, too. I mean, you can just see the arm strength he has. They're going to stay out here in the spread offense.
Just over 6.5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter as this seesaw battle continues. North led by 3 at the half, 15-12. They lead by 3 right now, 29-26. Off the left side, Allender keeps it, goes down the left side, has his knees chopped out, and is knocked out of bounds. He has been very impressive, especially here in the second half.
But we have a flag on the play, and it seems to be the Achilles heel of the North squad all night.
Back, yeah.
Coach Bronson is very, very upset with the officials here. Luckily, we got replay to make that call ourselves.
Take a look at the head official. We talked about Matt Palma there in the white hat. 36 years on the field, and there's head coach Greg Bronson from the North squad, who won this game last year, but South leads the series over the course of the last 41 years. Hard to believe this game has been going on for 41 years. The Kensington Lions Club High School All-Star Classic coming to you today from Tonawanda High School under the lights on Time Warner Cable Sports Channel, and indeed that play comes back. So a hard run from that young man right there is negated as Donald Allender now will face a first down and 19 just over midfield. Run down to the 35-yard line. That is Marzullo.
And they're just picking away at that. You know, they're just picking away right now at that left side again.
Yeah, everything seems to be coming left, doesn't it?
Yeah. You know, even though they're on the left hash, they're still running into the boundary. But, I mean, if it's working, keep running it. A little power there in front, and that's a big body there from Canisius High School leading up through
Rich Robertson, yep, Richard Robertson, number 71, leading the way at 316 pounds, headed to Morrisville State. That's not a misprint.
No, that's a big dude.
I want to go for wings with him. Second down and 6. Allender has time to the corner of the end zone, and he just overthrows his intended receiver, the North. Maybe looking for a pass interference call. No flag on the play as Kane couldn't get under it.
It looked like good coverage to me. The corner was fighting to stay in phase and didn't really look anything out of the norm. We'll take a look at the replay here. Can't really tell if he's holding him.
There's number 12, Justin Williams, the strong safety from Cheektowaga, playing for head coach Mike Fata and the Warriors, going to Buffalo State College.
Look how just precise of a throw that is, though. I mean, that's right to the back pylon. And just so impressive. So impressive.
Movement on the offense, pre-snap foul. That comes on 3rd and 6, so it'll back up the North offense, and head coach Greg Bronson, who you see right there, 5 more yards. You know, I understand that I'm not rocking the boat or disagreeing or anything, but wouldn't you like to see more preparation time, I suppose, for this game? I mean, you got some of the best athletes in Western New York, and they have 7 days to get to know each other, get to know a limited playbook, I'm sure. I understand. I mean, they went from 2 weeks to 1 week. I get it. It's middle of summer. These kids have graduated. They're all seniors or graduated.
They're working.
Seniors. Yeah, I get it. I do. But
I think it just became, the commitment became too big to continue to do it for 2 weeks.
Well, especially when you're bringing kids in from all over the place, Newfane and Lockport and Iroquois and, you know, Springville. So now it's Allender with the keeper down to the 35-yard line, and that's going to bring up a 4th down and 6.
Yeah. Yeah,
I guess I'm not rocking the boat. I just think in a perfect world, you'd like to see a little more precision, I suppose, especially on offense, which means a little more preparation time.
Right, of course, you know, and repetition, you know, but I mean, I'm for the 1 week deal, because I just thought that it was kind of too much, because you couldn't miss a certain amount of practices. So now you got to really coordinate your schedule for 2 weeks, and you still got other things to do. And you still got grad parties you're going to and stuff, and you know, a lot of things going on, and you know, guys getting ready to go to college.
Yeah, we heard from the ECC head coach. They start practices on Monday, I believe.
Yeah,
players are reporting on Monday.
My quarterback Colin from last year, he's not even playing football, but he had to go to Virginia to pick up some furniture that they found for his apartment.
Allender on 4th and 7 overthrows his intended receiver. They're going to turn it over on downs, and well, this just got a whole lot more interesting, didn't it? 5:10 to go in a 3-point game. South has the ball with pretty decent field position.
If there's anybody in Western New York that can pull this game out, it's
Coach
Curran.
Rob Curran.
2013 Alden football. All right, we go to Eden. They put together a gargantuan 9-minute drive in the 4th quarter. They score with a minute left. They go up 15-14 because, of course, they got the 2-point conversion. We won. Next week against Hutchtack, we're down in the 4th quarter.
No, I didn't.
We scored with 18 seconds left to win it. Pioneer, we won in a shootout. Olean, we were down 20-0 at halftime. Came back and won. And
Billingsley couldn't get the corner, and he gets down to the original line of scrimmage, and the clock is going to continue to move.
So if there's anything,
see if he's got any of that 4th quarter magic left here today in this All-Star Classic.
We called him Magic Man last year on the broadcast, so we'll see what he does have. But this North defense is very difficult to get outside of right now as you take a look at Coach Rob Curran.
1998 graduate of St. Francis High School, 10 years at Alden. His 4th year coming up as head coach of the Alden Bulldogs, leading the South squad here down by 3. Pass out to the 40-yard line, caught and promptly dropped Good tackle right after the catch. That was Tyron Lawson, number 8 from Cheektowaga.
And very, very nice play. And again, they got hit those flats, gain of 4. Lawson, a very, very good player. You know, Cheektowaga just had such a stable of good athletes last year. It was like, okay, well, how do you cover a lot of speed with not a lot of speed? It was kind of the quandary we were dealing with when we were playing them last year. And, you know, they have great athletes. They're very well coached. They're technically sound. They run a very, very good system. It's just it's a very nice program that could win a state championship this year.
It's a very interesting and kind of cool dynamic too. We'll talk about the Cheektowaga coaching staff in a moment as the South has the ball. Pocket collapses, but the pass comes away and it falls incomplete with 3:28 to go, and it's going to bring up, I believe, 4th down. But yeah, Mike Fata is the head coach. Scott Zipp is one of his main assistants, but in the classroom, Scott Zipp is actually the principal at Cheektowaga High School, so
and
it's a very interesting dynamic.
Mike Fat is the assistant principal.
It's a very interesting dynamic.
But
I like that coaching staff a lot.
But how they put their program together and how they do things and how they teach things, and you know, they do things that give you a lot of trouble. I mean, they run a really, really good program. I mean, I really firmly believe, and I've watched every second of every play of cut-ups of Cheektowaga film last year from all 12 games, and I believe firmly that they can go and win it.
4th and long, and they're going to convert the 1st down. Wow.
They have a team good enough to compete for a state championship, and I firmly believe that. And that's coming from a coach in their conference who has a good team in their same conference. They could do it.
Metz is having a nice second half.
Bubble screen, and just let your athlete be an athlete here. And I'll tell you what, I mean, that's a magical play on 4th down to keep the game going here. Now we're under the 3-minute mark.
Pressure coming, an ill-advised pass from Spire, falls incomplete. That's okay if you're the South right now.
We'll see what they decide on here. I'd like to see like a little draw play or something to keep these defensive ends at bay, because they're just crashing so hard. And a nice job to evade that pressure by Danny Spire.
Hand off to the near side. That is Metz again. Close to the 1st down marker, but I think he's going to be a little bit short, maybe a half a yard short. Out of bounds 2. That'll stop the clock.
So yeah, you got 8 yards there.
Need of 8 yards.
Big boys are coming in here for the South team.
Don't forget, immediately following the game, we'll have the announcement of our team MVPs.
And we'll see what they come up with here.
.247 to go.
This is a legal formation.
Poised for a fantastic finish one way or another. And
Is that us? Is
you
that us?
are right, my friend. A flag thrown on the play.
Hit 5 in the backfield. I see what they were trying to do, though. They were trying to go on balance to this side, but the Z receiver needed to be on the ball for him to motion across, and they didn't get that. So that's an illegal shift, and now it'll be a 3rd down and 8.
Wonder how the stamina is down there. It's not exactly, say, mid-season, right?
No, well, yeah.
For high school football players, and it's hot out there from Clint Small Stadium here in Tonawanda, New York. He is Sean Brusso. I'm David Miller with Amy Audibert down patrolling the sidelines. But yeah, it's not exactly mid-season form, and it's a hot, hot night.
And it's a longer game, too. Again,
yeah, longer game.
This is a 60-minute game, 48-minute game is a regular high school game. So essentially, this is like another quarter of football that these guys are playing right now. And the South is going to take a time out here to discuss their options
You're
on 3rd and 7.
seeing things get sloppy on both offenses.
A little bit here. I think you just go back and throw the smash play and just, you know, let that corner route with Metz go over the top and throw the guy underneath. Brian Stolt, it looks like Rob is conversing with Brian Stolt to see what he wants. Which was awesome to watch when I was at Alden, because Brian just had such an amazing mind for football, for a quarterback at his. I remember my favorite story, and it involves Lyle Grant, when we went down to Olean, and we took the lead. We came back. We were down 20-0 halftime. We took the lead, and then Olean's driving, and they got athletes. Ann Savine at quarterback. They got Will Bathurst, who's playing Division I basketball, just big down the field. And Lyle Grant, as a sophomore, stepped in front of the pass, pick 6, and Brian Stoltz running down the field after Lyle Grant, and I have the film cut up still, and it's hilarious. And there was some expletives and and things like that drawn, but basically that was because he was said if he would have just fallen down, we could knee the game out and it would be over. And you're like, how does a kid just think like that? You know, instead of scoring a touchdown here and then we ended up going for 2 and making it a 2-score game. But he just said if he would have just fell down, we could knee it out and win the game. That, to have a kid think like that is just fantastic.
South had to call timeout. They've got it 3rd and 7. They'll run it off the right side of the line of scrimmage. And, well, this game just keeps getting more and more interesting, doesn't it? 4th down, approaching 2 minutes to go. A 3-point lead for the team in blue. The North on defense. The white team from the South on offense. And like I started to say, we are poised and ready for a fantastic finish one way or another. Will be it the North defense that holds or the South defense that leads them to victory.
And we'll see what they decide to go with here.
Interesting formation. 2 wideouts, one to each side of the line of scrimmage. I'll throw it to the near side, and it's dropped. Oh boy. Tyree Brown.
Well, I like the call. You went to the hitch.
Jack Myers, how about that?
He had that great catch early, and Danny Spire got it out and just hit him in the hands, or hit him in the chest. But a great throw from Spire. It was perfect. It was on time, and just in and out of the hands there. So now the South has 2 timeouts. The North has 2 timeouts. I'm sorry, the South has 2 timeouts. The North.
I thought that pass initially, Sean, was intended for Tyree Brown, but it wasn't 7. It was 17, and it was Jack Myers from West Seneca West High School unable to haul it in. Good defensive play by the North, and now they just need to hang on.
1 first down. And they're going to take, South is going to take a timeout here.
See Darren Thompson, number 2 in blue for the North. He has had a big game, especially here in the second half. Thompson out of St. Joe's, where he played for head coach Dennis Gilbert, and I mentioned earlier, headed off to Buffalo State College. Let's check in down on the field with Amy Audibert.
Thanks, Dave. I am honored to be with probably one of the hardest working water boys I've ever seen. This is Jack Curran, 8 years old, son of head coach Curran. Jack, look at me. He likes the camera. What has your week been like as the water boy for this team?
Well, it was, I don't know really. It was just fun. I don't know. It was just fun meeting the players, and I really enjoyed having, like, I like to stretch with the players.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, you're doing a great job. We got to go back to the game because it is a good game. But I got to tell you, I mean, there was an earring on the ground. He sprinted up the line and thought it was mine and tried to give it back to me. And he's given water. You're doing everything. So do you have a favorite player really quick on the team over the week?
I don't really know. I like all the players.
All right. Well, good luck in the rest of this game. We'll go back up to you guys.
Oh, yes.
Great job, Amy. Run off the right side of the line of scrimmage. They're going to break into South territory, brought down at the 48-yard line. She's got the best job of the planet, doesn't she?
Oh, that's fun. And Jack,
that is fun. He's a good kid.
He's a super kid. He, I remember before we played Depew at the stadium, he predicted an Alton Bulldog win, 97-4. 4. Coach Curran reminded me today we unfortunately did not get those 2 safeties, which would have helped in that game. But I remember the first time I went over there, and he was like, "Hey, he loves football, coach. He's gonna love it." We were playing Star Wars Legos on the ground. It was a blast. He's you know, he takes after his dad so much, and that was an awesome moment. Yeah.
97-4, huh?
97-4. Yes, that was the prediction from Jack Curran, and like we said, unfortunately we didn't get those 2 safeties because we lost 28-26. But you know, and you know what? That's what it kind of encompasses. I mean, this is a family event. This is a family game, and you know, you can see we obviously. the son of Greg Bronson helping in the game. Well, the son of Rob Curran is helping in this game too, and getting the tea and taking care of the water, and just loves being around the team, loves being around the boys. And Rob says, it's kind of nice because he lives in Leroy, has the 40-minute commute to Malden every day. He says, I don't have to go by myself anymore. I don't feel like I have to leave my whole family behind because, I got Jack with me.
3rd down and 3. It's going to be a quarterback keeper, good for a first down. They hang on to the ball, and that's should be the game with 78 seconds to go. The North starting to feel it. They won this last year. The South leads this series over 41 years of the Kensington Lions Club All-Star Classic, but it looks like Tyler Stranahan out of Canisius High School is headed for victory today.
So again, the favorite never wins.
Yeah, we said that.
The favorite never wins. The lead block there, Bailey Fernuziak from North Tonawanda, another one of my guys from that modified team and JV team. Great kid, great family he comes from. His father, Steve, and led the way on that trap block there, and Stranahan was able to sneak on through. And that big first down, and that's pretty much going to do it here.
Well, and you got to feel real good for that guy. Greg Bronson, I mentioned, his legacy at Lockport is unquestioned. 29 years on the coaching staff, 9 years as the head coach at Lockport. Recently retired, came back for one more game. This is that one more game, and, well, it's going to be a heck of a memory for him as he sails into retirement.
Right. And, what a better way to go out. And again, you got to do it. You got to coach your last son coming up through in Andrew. You got to do it, and help call that offense and call a great game with your son, Dan. And, wish Coach Bronson, again, like I said, a great family. I think the world of Danny. I love watching him compete. Unfortunately, Danny was injured his senior year, broke his collarbone and missed most of his senior year, still went on to play, had a great basketball season that year for a very, very talented Lockport team in the Niagara Frontier League. Probably the best basketball league in Western New York besides the Yale Cup. Fantastic. And, always see Coach Bronson at the game, watch Danny play. He'd always go bump fists with the guy at the score table, take a piece of gum and go play. And, what a fantastic player and a team. There's Jack Curran down there on the sideline again.
Hardest working man in Tonawanda today, isn't he?
Oh, yeah.
They go into their safety formation, their victory formation, if you will, take a knee. Under 30 seconds to go, and the congratulations start. Sean, kind of an emotional moment for a lot of these kids who have just played their final competitive football game ever. The North crowd underneath us right here celebrating at Tonawanda High School. But for so many of these kids, they'll never put the pads on again. For some, they'll go on and play at the college level. But this is always going to be a great memory for these guys, especially the winners in blue from the North.
It will. And the coaching circles you have and the relationships you make from it, it's a really special thing. It's something that you can have and nobody can always take away from you.
North All-Stars are the 2016 Kensington Lions Club High School All-Star champions. We'll be back with some stats and final thoughts coming up next on Time Warner Cable Sports Channel. Final score of the 41st annual Kensington Lions Club All-Star Game. The North All-Stars hang on to beat the team from the South 29-26. A big game from the North from number 2, Darren Thompson. So many contributors here today, but the St. Joe's product headed off to Buffalo State College had a dandy of a game here today. Back inside Tonawanda High School, and the lights are on as we take a look at some final stats here today. Some of the awards being given out down on the field. And, you know, Sean Brusso, the South team struck first, couldn't convert that extra point attempt, and they failed on a 2-point conversion, and the North just seemed to build some momentum as you get a look at the stats.
Yeah, you take a look at it, it'd be pretty fairly even. I mean, the South, those big plays, 3 touchdowns over 70 yards. I don't think I've ever seen that in a game before, really.
Those, by the way, are final stats.
Yeah, I mean, 473, 442. But I think the North did a pretty good job. If you look at that first down, 16-10, they did a good job of sustaining long drives and converting third downs when they needed to, and I think that was the ultimate difference in the game today.
473 yards for the South All-Stars combined, and it comes in a losing effort.
Yeah, 915.
Almost 1,000 yards offense.
Not a great day to be a defensive coordinator, that's for sure. But, you know, a great game, and, you know, hey, what a great way to set off our, start off our high school football coverage this year.
I'm excited, and I look forward to working with you again, partner.
Always a pleasure, my friend.
High school football season is right around the corner as we wrap things up from Tonawanda High School. For my partner, Sean Brusso, our sideline reporter, Amy Audibert, our broadcast contributor, Paul Peck, and our producer-director, Rick Carniff, along with the entire Time Warner Cable Sports Channel crew. My name is David Miller. North beats the South. Goodbye, everybody.